Brian situation.
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm running around with a meat cleaver and a coat, but no pants, and zombies are chasing me.
Yeah.
He's live in the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's your normal day of life. Is running around with a meat cleaver and no pants.
Yeah.
Jordan really enjoys it.
That's why they're roommates.
I assume that was out of the house.
Oh.
Jordan needs alone time, so Brian leaves the house with his meat cleaver and no pants.
And
He does it both in and out of the house.
Sure.
He's not,
I can't catch a deer. It's too fast. This is outrunning me. I need shoes.
Shoes, pants, or maybe a gun. A gun helps with hunting deer.
Well, here's the thing. I've never actually seen Brian run. So
he could be super fast.
Could be.
Like, I don't know.
Not as fast as a deer, though.
You don't know that.
He just said he wasn't as fast as a
He
deer.
I mean,
said
African tribesmen run down deer.
And they're not as fast as a deer.
Yeah.
So maybe they're not as fast, but they can catch them. So maybe he is as fast, but he can't
catch one.
Okay, that's fair. Brian?
That's true.
Okay.
Everything they just said is true.
All right. Good to know. I'm going to take a nap now.
The science behind persistence hunting is insane.
Yes.
Like, it's just everything about this working.
Everything
for
about
it.
the human body is just bizarre.
So, I have a question about that, because Jeremy
Sure.
couldn't tell me, and I'm too lazy to Google. Is it 4 guys that chase one deer?
One guy. Well, one guy chases a deer while his 3 buddies that help him carry it back follow.
Okay.
It's just one guy chases a deer. They don't do shifts. It's just that the frequency at which we breathe and the frequency at which our heart beat and like the fact that we have front-facing nostrils, like we can run consistently forever.
Yeah.
Whereas a deer can run in short bursts really fast, but he can't do it forever.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, they don't even have to. They have a bow and arrow, but that's just like a formality. They can just walk up and slit its throat. Like it literally just lays
stands
down.
there and it's just like, I'm done now.
It can't even stand up.
Wild Arias are like that. They can go for about 20 minutes and then they're done.
Our puppy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess she's not really a puppy anymore, but yeah, she's like that.
Yep.
She runs really fast for those 20 minutes, though.
Right, and then she just slays down. She's just done.
And then it's just a matter of the head start, right? Like, this thing is, like, if she runs a mile in 20 minutes and then needs 10 minutes to rest, if you can walk that mile in 29 minutes, you can catch her.
I can catch her.
Right.
Yep.
And that's how the deer work.
Yeah,
That's a really slow mile, by the way.
I was just doing
just
math.
an example,
It was
Katie.
easy math.
Damn
Also, are you sure you can walk a mile in 29 minutes? I don't want to be...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. A leisurely pace, not leisurely, but a brisk morning stroll is about 3 miles an hour.
Yeah,
so.
3.5, yeah.
My best 5K was 18:15.
Yeah, but you were like a freaking track and field
you were in
star
shape
back in your
then.
day.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, much better shape than any of us are now today.
Well, I'm not in shape now.
None of us are. That's what I'm saying. Of the 5 of us sitting around this table, none of us are what I would call peak physical specimens.
It is grotesquely telling that I might be in the best physical shape of the 5 of us.
You might be.
That is grotesque.
I can walk for a long time.
Can you?
Yeah.
We're going to find out
Like
in
a
Europe,
month
aren't we?
ago, I just wasn't feeling social, and so I just walked around Madison, and so it was just 14 hours. I just walked.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it's on my MyFitnessPal. I burned, like, several thousand calories.
Well,
I just
yeah.
walked. I walked all the way to your guys' house, then I walked all the way up to University in Middleton, then all the way east and came down Stoughton. Like, I just walked around the entire city just because I didn't want to be with anybody.
You know, some people just do that in their house.
Well, I don't have 13 hours of walking space in my house.
Well, you don't have to walk.
She means
to
on
be
a
by
treadmill or
yourself.
something.
Oh, no. Well, it depends if other people are in your house.
You
Or
just shut
around the
door.
block.
I guess so, yeah.
That's
I
still
just-
impressive.
I just
mean,
picked
yeah.
a direction and walked, and then I got down to McKee, and I turned on McKee, and then I got, like, you know, down by you guys, and I'm like, I'll just...
Keep going.
Keep
I had an
going.
errand to do in Middleton, so I just decided to walk to Middleton once. I was at your place. I had no destination, and I was around there when I was like, you know what, I might as well walk to Middleton. So then I walked up to Middleton because I had to pick something up at a store.
I would agree you are probably in the best shape of the 5 of us at this table in that case.
Yeah, I was in dress shoes, too.
What?
I couldn't find my sneakers, and so, yeah.
Did you have
Do
blisters?
Do not mix crazy and in shape.
It's a bad combination.
Did you
Yeah.
have blisters when you got home? Like, dress shoes are not comfortable.
They're like, they weren't full on like tuxedo dress shoes. They were black shoes. Like, you know, they had soft soles.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, so it wasn't like kill yourself dress shoes, but
But still, that's a long ways to walk in dress shoes.
I tried once to play basketball in dress shoes
yeah.
on a tennis court. It was a basketball hoop that was on a tennis court, and I was playing with dress shoes.
That
When
seems
I-
like a great way to fall down.
Yeah, it was awesome. I had like from like my ankle all the way up to my top thigh. I had like a road rash from when I took a
Ooh.
big header. all the way down my entire left leg.
That does not sound
My
pleasant.
calves were unhappy the next day with me. That
Well,
was my
yeah.
big issue.
My pants were unhappy with me when I tried to take them off because they were stuck to my leg.
Oh, gross.
Fancy.
Gross. Welcome to Crippled System, episode 201, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how we do it, apparently, on the Crippled System.
I did the math. Like, we haven't done, like, what about year-wise? When did we start? Do you remember the date of the first broadcast?
It was November 19th.
Of
20. It was 4 years ago. Basically, we celebrated
so
for 4
23
years.
November
So
2013.
So this November will be our 5th.
technically, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
November
So, and technically,
2012?
we have more than 201 episodes. There's a couple .5s in there, and there's a couple
Really?
special episodes. Yeah,
And then there's episode 10, which was our best episode ever.
That was the
It
best
is our
episode.
That
best.
was the best episode
You guys should
ever.
all go check it out right
yeah,
now.
go check it out.
Amazing.
We can't ever top that.
It was the
Yeah.
first time we ever got a commendation from Apple.
Yeah, it's true.
It might unironically be our best episode.
That's crazy to think about. That's a long time podcasting. I told somebody the other day, just offhand, that somebody asked me like if I wanted to do something like Sunday evening a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh no, I'm going to go do my podcast. And they were like, oh, har, like you do a podcast. I was like, no, like we have like thousands of listeners and have been doing it for years.
We're down to dozens, but we still have.
I mean, we may not have
Yeah.
thousands anymore, but there was a time when we would get multiple thousands of downloads.
Well, each one of our
That was
episodes
just
still gets
each person downloading it 1,000 times.
Might have been. It might have been.
trying to do the Muse method of increasing the numbers.
Might be, I have a question for you after the podcast is over.
Okay,
Because I tried to ask it last episode, but whatever. The point is, it's apparently a question that you don't want on air.
That's
so
fair.
all 5 of us need to remember to remind me.
Okay.
Well, I'm not going to ask it on air.
You could start it. And
No,
then-
I know what the
No,
question is.
we
We
might
usually wait till
Because
off air.
last week a top came up and you're like, we'll talk about
We'll
that
talk about it
off
later.
air.
Yeah,
and
we just
then
forgot.
we
We
never
forgot
talked
to.
about
Yeah,
it.
I know what he's talking about.
I have no
I don't
idea.
remember.
Doesn't matter.
There's a lot of things I don't want to talk about on air.
That's fair. So anyway, it's still crazy to think about, though. Like a lot of people when they think, like, when I tell them I've done a podcast, they're like, "Oh, you in your garage, and you had 3 people download it, and all 3 are related to you by blood." It's like, no, like we have like a legit people for some reason actually listen to this podcast.
To be fair, we're all related to each other by blood.
Well, yeah, that's
Well, but that's a
You know
that's
what I
a
mean.
packed blood. It's not mom and dad blood.
No, I meant like if you go back far
If you go
enough.
back far
Like
enough.
literally everybody in Europe is descended from Charlemagne. That kind
Mine
of
was
thing.
funnier.
Fair.
Nathan.
I'm sorry.
We're like blood sisters. You and me.
Yeah,
All
don't you remember that?
sisters.
you guys are
Yeah.
sisters.
You,
Okay.
you don't remember
I'm
that
okay
pact?
with that.
Huh?
You don't remember that pact, Nathan?
Yeah, blood pact.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
He may or may not have been sober
That was
when
part
it
of the
happened.
10th episode. That was
Yeah.
in the basement over
Yep.
at the old place.
It's not a garage. It was a basement.
It wasn't. When we started, it was
Correct.
legitimately in a basement.
We did start in the basement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I saw a movie with Brian where somebody tried to do like the blood brother pact thing with a vampire, and it went very badly.
was that the one that you guys watched?
Well, yeah, I just said it was one that.
Well, I mean the one that you just watched in the theater.
No, the one a
Oh.
few years ago. The
Okay.
the Let Me In or the Let the Right One In, which was with the American. The American was Let Me In, I think. Yeah. So like the what are they, like 12? The boy decides he wants to do the blood thumb slit best friend thing with his new best friend, not knowing his new best friend's a vampire, and she flips the fuck out
Well, yeah.
because he's
Well,
like, "Here, this looks delicious."
Yeah.
Oh.
That was a great story.
It is a great story. You're a great story. Shut your face.
It's a great movie.
It's a
If
great
I'm
movie.
a great story, then why would I?
I heard you
my
guys went and saw a great movie this weekend that I was really glad I missed.
We should introduce everyone here because we've gone on for
If you don't know who we are by now, fuck you.
10 minutes. on.
According to Jeremy, we've got thousands of listeners.
We did at one
We're a
point.
big deal in our
Tens of
meta.
thousands.
I don't know that we ever hit tens of those.
Tens of tens.
Definitely tens
we
of tens.
we have not hit 5 digits.
I thought we had over
Depends.
1,000 downloads.
No, 5
5 digits
digits.
is 4
Oh,
digits.
5 did. Yeah, right.
Depending on what base we count in, we could easily have 5 digits. Like hexadecimal, or not hexadecimal.
Not hexadecimal, that'd be wrong
binary, we're way the fuck on. Well, maybe.
Yeah,
We're
no,
probably
we are.
5 digits in binary. You don't know.
I know binary, so I
Yeah.
should. Anyway, I'm Jeremy.
I'm Katie.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Andy.
The groan was Brian.
Our powers combined were Captain Planet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, who's Hart?
Nobody
Who's-
wants
we-
to be Hart.
let's figure this out
No
here.
one ever wants to be hard.
No, we have to figure this out here.
Okay, well we know I'm not Hart.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
Katie,
Wait,
what's your favorite thing about pets?
not my favorite thing.
What's
One-
the best thing about
not
pets?
the best thing.
you
Tell
said-
me one great thing about pets.
They die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a statement Katie
This
apparently
isn't
made.
sarcasm.
Nobody's good. I was
That's
talking
the
to
greatest
friends.
thing about pets?
Not the greatest thing,
But it's a good thing. It's one of the great
You
things
call
about
it a
pets.
great thing.
She called it. She when she redacted and told me the story, she said one of the greatest things about pets.
Yeah,
is
she's
that
not
they
saying
die.
it's not a great thing. She's just saying it's not the only great thing about pets.
Yeah, there's lots of great things about pets.
But one of the great things about cat pets is that they
die.
Here's the thing. Do you know why parrots are awful, and we can all agree on that. They live
Yes.
for 80 years. Like, you know how many animals that were old would end up in the pound if dogs lived for 40 or 50 years?
I mean, she's got a point. People don't want their kids around for more than 18 years.
Sure, but you don't say the greatest thing about kids is that they die.
No, the greatest thing is that they leave the
Is
house.
that they leave the house?
If my dog would leave the house and become independent and visit occasionally after 18 years, that would be great.
That's not possible. I can't even.
They go to a
imagine
farm up the
all-
road, and they can run and chase chickens.
Nobody's going to commit to owning and taking care of an animal for that long a period. Some people
Well,
can't
except
even-
every parrot owner ever.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but parrot owners are
they're
crazy. I think we can all
so
agree on that.
And hey, what ended up happening to our friend's parrot? They sold it because parrots are awful and they live for forever. So you couldn't be like, well, I just have to wait till it dies.
Yeah, that's just not an option with a parrot.
So
Like, unless you invite Jim over and just be like, don't tell me what happened.
Can you imagine she's at the pound? She's like, which of these dogs will die the best? What's your best? Which is your best lie down and die dog? I'll take 4 of them.
She's like, I want a dog that's going to die in 6 to 8 months. Can you make that happen?
that's why I get big dogs. They die sooner.
That is actually
I mean,
factually
at
true.
least you're doing a service. You are adopting the elderly dogs.
But
I mean,
I'm
they
just
need
saying,
love too for their last remaining.
Nobody's committing to
Month.
that long of an animal. They're just not. They're just gonna.
that's why
drop
she
them
would like that one movie where the dogs keep dying over and over again.
Yeah.
Dog's Purpose.
Dog's Purpose, like 10 stars, 10
Laugh
dogs die.
riot.
Yeah,
Oh.
because everyone considers that movie a laugh riot.
I'm not saying it's not sad.
But like every 10 minutes, a dog dies. It's great.
It's great. It's
Katie's
Katie's,
just laughing up a storm in the theater. This is so great. Everyone else is
Hit by a
crying.
bu-
Katie's like clapping.
She treats it the way you treat like the Final Destination movies. Where
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good one.
That was amazing.
That dog got hit by a bus and the kids watching it bleed out. Ah, good times.
Yes, I think we can all agree you're not Heart, Katie.
I'm just saying, things need to die. At some point, it needs to happen. I'll be sad when it happens.
On a brighter side, Non-Euclidean Nick and Arctic Circle brought up the thing I was going to bring up, which is that there was one episode of Captain Planet where they let the Heart Kid use his power, and he straight up can mind control people, and it's freaky as shit.
Really?
Yeah, he's just like, Heart, do my bidding, and they become just mindless slaves to him.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they learn.
I guess
missed that one.
I'll take the role.
Yeah,
I
because
guess.
it's like part of like he what they truly want inside of him. He just tells them he's Kilgrave.
Yeah.
He's fucking Kilgrave
Yeah.
on the Planeteers.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's creepy shit.
Well, every episode except that one, he just stands there and looks silly.
Yep.
He has a monkey, though.
He does have a monkey. That's true.
Someday it'll die.
That'd be
The
great.
best thing about that monkey.
Okay, you guys. I'm
Do you
not
watch
wrong.
like old episodes of Full House? You're like, that dog's dead by now. Awesome.
Old Yeller is her favorite movie. Top 10 movie.
No, where the Redford grows. You gotta have 2 dogs
Oh,
dying.
yeah.
Just one is not enough.
Now wait, so plague dogs, 2 dogs died, but they weren't pets to begin with. They were lab animals that escaped to try to live a happy life, and then they die horrifically. Is that a laugh riot too, or do they have to be pets first? All right, so
She's laughing too hard thinking about it.
so lab dogs dying of the plague is still
It's
funny.
also funny.
Okay, good call.
I'm glad Katie comes to the podcast again.
I'm not wrong. Nobody's gonna be like, I want to see. You know what? People would just give them up to the pound when they're like 20 years old. They'd be like, I don't want to take care of this animal anymore.
Well, I mean, if a dog lived
Like we do with our
if
grandparents.
a dog lived really old, it probably would be healthier longer. It wouldn't just be like, it wouldn't be the same lifespan where it got old. It would be a puppy longer.
It'd still be a lot of responsibility, though.
True, but
for
I mean,
a long time. Do you know how many people get rid of their pets when they have a baby for the first time? So now you have a dog that instead of living for 5 more years in the pound, it's going to live for 35 more years in the pound.
well, no,
Or the people could just not be shitty.
Yeah, but people aren't going to change.
People are shitty, though. I don't think that's
That's-
going to change at all.
Yeah, that's a big thing that I see, like people giving up their pets because they moved into a new place.
Yeah, they move,
It's like-
or they have kids, or like their job changes because like suddenly their schedule changes and they can't be around for the dog.
Well, I've even seen people like take their dog to the pound to get rid of it, and then leave with a younger dog.
with a younger dog, yeah. Because puppies are cute, but dogs are the worst. Those people, by the way, should be taken out back and shot.
Once upon a time, I argued that Miss Saigon has a happy ending because she kills herself, so I can't be completely...
So maybe you and Katie are more simpatico than you want
Well,
to
the
admit.
situation's all fucked up, and then she kills herself, and that simplifies things, and then she's not sad
You
anymore.
would have to have, like, dogs would have to have the breeding rate of pandas for them to be able to live that long and be pets.
Yeah, that's fair.
Depends. Can we also just come into terms with the fact that they're delicious and use them as a food source as well?
Nope.
Most people that name their cows then have trouble killing the cow that they raised to be food. So I don't think that would work very well.
Raylene
so
grew up on a
mean.
farm. She definitely had a pet pig that she ate one morning.
Right.
So.
But that's hard. Like that messes with people.
I ate my pet bunny and I'm fine.
Yeah, but you ate it raw by choice.
With eggs and
struggling.
crackers.
Yeah, with eggs and crackers that were also raw.
His bunny was named Eggs and Crackers.
That's what he's talking about every single time.
2 pet bunnies, eggs and crackers. Just mixed them up in a bowl.
And wasn't it better that they were dead before you mixed them up?
I want to be honest. The 2 raw dead rabbits might not be any more disgusting than the raw eggs and crackers.
Well,
Like it might not
crackers
be.
are fine.
No, he mixes the raw
I
eggs and the
know.
crackers.
I'm just saying, one of the things is fine.
Yeah, raw crackers is okay.
Yeah.
Brian offered to make me
And
breakfast.
when you eat
breakfast
steak
once.
tartare, it includes raw egg on top.
It does. I get that there are like exceptions, but most
Gaston
people don't
eats
just.
raw eggs by the dozen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but obviously
Every
it's-
morning to
every
help him
morning
get large.
to help him get
Yeah.
large, and obviously it's led to mental instability.
And
He
being the
gets
size of a
large in
barge.
a different way than
Who?
somebody
What?
who would
Gaston.
eat that many eggs.
Gaston
I
from the
think.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Oh.
What mental instability? The man is a paragon of virtue and strength.
Virtue is not the right word.
Except in the live action movie,
Well,
where
sure.
they
That's
made him
the
a
thing, is,
terrible
like-
person.
Okay, he was a terrible person in the cartoon. Though, 'cause
He
he's-
rescues Belle from being imprisoned by a monster.
He also locks Belle's dad up in the insane asylum and bribes.
Her
the-
dad is insane.
Her dad
Yeah,
is
but he,
like certifiable.
He's harmless. Even the insane guy is like, he's harmless, and he's like, no, he's not harmless. Here's gold to lock up this harmless man.
It's
In jail.
1700s France. You can't be a harmless crazy person. Like,
Obviously, you can.
for the time, Gaston was not exactly villainous.
I am saying the way Gaston acts in the original
He's at
Beauty and the
least
Beast
a dick.
movie, and the
Oh,
way
he's
Gaston
completely a
is
dick.
in the live action movie, like they made him like infinitely worse.
well, he does
No,
straight up
he's
try to
not-
murder somebody in the live action movie.
yeah.
I
He
don't
doesn't
think-
try to murder anybody in the
Well,
canon
except the
film.
Beast.
I don't
No,
think-
even then he fights him face to face.
That's true. Sorry, Katie. Go ahead.
I don't think he was a dick in the movie, in the live action movie.
No,
No, he was just like, he was very polite to Belle.
he's a really good guy right up until he tries to kill her dad.
Like he ties a guy to a tree to
He-
leave him to be
yeah,
eaten
well,
by wolves. That's
because-
kind of
I mean,
dickish.
Kind of, but like up until
Kinda?
that point, like he's the only one who's like, I'll go, even if his motives weren't pure. Like he is very nice to Belle. Like he's the only one who takes interest in her reading.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, if I tied you to a tree to be eaten by wolves, you'd probably call me a dick.
yeah.
Like you'd be like, dick move.
Like
But
I agree.
up until that point. Whereas
yes.
in the cartoon, he's just a dick from day one. You see him and he's being a dick.
I like to think he works for Village. Doesn't anyone else realize Belle's Emma Thompson? Why is no one else?
Roberts.
I know. As soon as I said it, I was wrong. I figured.
Robert Thompson.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, they're all
Robert
Emmas.
Paulson.
Paulson.
Her name is Robert Paulson.
Her name is
In
Robert
death,
Paulson.
she has a name.
Oh my God! In death, she has a name.
What are we talking about?
Well,
You find out that Beauty and the Beast is just another subset of Fight Club.
a Fight Club.
Oh my God! So is Beast Gaston's Tyler Durden?
Yes.
Also,
That explains what Belle says. I wasn't fucked like that since grade school.
That's a Fight Club line.
Okay. Also, the Beast wasn't handsome enough
In the live action,
in the live action.
Like when he transforms, or as a beast?
And when he transforms.
as a beast, he was okay, but yeah, as a man, he's really not nearly as attractive as he was as a beast.
Wait, what? You
Yeah.
thought he was hotter as a beast?
Yeah, in the live action.
Now we know Jeremy's other fetish. He likes the beasts. He wasn't. He wasn't very good looking in the animated one either.
Yeah,
I've
once he
always
becomes
thought when he
a-
transforms, I'm like, you kind of
Yeah,
get a nose job. Frenchie.
yeah, or something. Yeah,
Yeah, they need to do some work on the Beasts.
the post transformation beast specifically.
Yeah.
Oh
Those
my
looks
gosh,
are important.
they are.
That's what we learned.
That's
At
what
least
we
they made him
what you
older
learn
in the
from
live
Beauty and the
action
Beast.
one.
What?
At least they made him older in the live action one. In the
Yeah.
cartoon, it's an 11-year-old who wisely doesn't open the door for a strange
Stranger?
woman when he's
Yeah.
home at night, and
By
he's
himself?
punished forever.
forever for it. Well, until he permanently ruins the lives of everyone in his castle.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, Enchantress. Also, it undercuts the whole looks aren't everything when the
Yeah.
Enchantress is only pretending to be ugly and she's
And
actually
she's
beautiful.
actually beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
Why
there's-
can't she be an ugly Enchantress?
Right. In fact, I don't see a problem with that. Although most enchantresses are beautiful, and most
I guess
Otherwise,
if you're
they're a witch.
Yeah.
If they're ugly.
yeah. See, so
an
what the
enchantress
heck?
is beautiful and a witch is ugly.
Does an enchantress float in water?
Build a bridge out of her?
Side note: they never say mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all?
Never.
Never. It's a magic mirror on the wall. True story.
Interesting.
So along there with Beam Me Up, Scotty, and Play It Again, Sam. Things nobody ever said.
Things nobody ever said, but everyone thinks
That was
on
my
next
favorite
level.
line from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Beat me up, Scotty.
Yeah.
What?
Anywho.
So what else have we got for topics today? You guys want to talk about the movie you guys saw that was terrible?
What?
I read your Facebook post.
I didn't say it was terrible. I
You
said
did
it
not.
wasn't scary.
You did not.
Also,
Katie
I'm
said it
proud
was
of my
terrible.
analogy. When
Which
the
is
guy
fun.
asked if it was a suspense film, I thought that was a very apt analogy.
It's a lot like Last Man on Earth, only you take away all the humor and the interesting parts.
All right, so you guys should
which
probably
is-
mention what movie you saw if we're going to actually talk about it.
Yeah.
I was
you three
nothing
haven't
ever comes.
It comes at night.
Well, my title's more accurate.
Yeah, your title is more accurate.
Yeah.
No, I'm so glad I didn't see it. I was actually seriously thinking about seeing the movie.
We all might have enjoyed it. Like, my Facebook post was an actual warning. It wasn't telling people not to see it. It's saying, if you go see it, be aware it is not scary in the goddamn slightest. Like, it's pitching itself as a horror movie, and because the critics like it, because it's artsy-fartsy, all the critics are like, so scary. And it's not. It's not
It has
scary.
an 87% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And if I'd gone
can't
into it
understand.
knowing it wasn't scary, but is instead just like I like The Road, and The Road wasn't pitched as a horror film. The Road was pitched as here's depression and misery, here's nihilism.
Who wants
everyone's
to watch a
gonna
movie
die.
that the movie's about depression and nihilism and nothing?
As long as you know that going into it, you can appreciate the story.
My bigger problem with the movie, and I agree, if it would have been, if it was problem one, it was promoted as a horror movie, and it's not. That was I don't, and it is hard to promote a movie like The Road or promote a movie like this. I also don't like the fact that there's a lot of ambiguity,
Ambiguousness.
in the movie late in the movie on purpose. It's there to make you wonder what did happen. And
No, I think it's pretty clear what happened because every time, spoilers, every time that the kid has a nightmare, which is what causes a lot of the ambiguity, he wakes up in his bed.
yeah.
So he didn't wake up like to think that he was sleepwalking and did it and not the kid would mean that he broke pattern with every other instance we saw him before.
But did he wake up in bed before seeing the kid and then go see the kid? So
Yeah.
he could have done the thing, woken up in bed, and then seen the kid. So that's a third possible version. You see what I mean? Spoilers.
They never
He could have
had any indication that he was
a
sleepwalking.
sleepwalker. He was just a nightmare haver.
Yeah.
Sure. And so
yeah.
I mean, I don't just, to me, it seems more straightforward like that, but they make, even the producers of the movie and the directors make a big deal of how you're supposed to figure it out yourself, and they made it unnecessarily that way to make some people believe that. Like,
Yeah.
It didn't have to go that extra mile in that regards. It could have just gone down the road it was going, and they didn't need to add this extra layer of what actually happened to cause the chaos, the ridiculous that happened.
sure.
Right.
It felt unnecessary. It was an unnecessary trigger to have things happen. It could have happened naturally.
It just shoehorned
Anyway.
ambiguity. Like
Yeah.
they could have shown Alexander's eyes and had Alexander,
Correct. It
be whatever, and then still had everything else the same.
Yeah, and no one who did it was unnecessary. I don't like unnecessary stuff like that. It really bugs me.
That's fair.
Because I think they were trying to show like what happens when like paranoia and everything happens to people or like in extreme events, and I don't even think that it did a good job of that.
Raylene and I talked about it a lot, and she said she didn't feel the paranoia, but the thing is, like, it's there was not a scene in the movie, even during Happy Montage, that I would not have been surprised if Paul had just shot people in their face.
Right.
Like the whole movie, even when they're like, la la la, we're a happy family. If he just whipped out a gun and just murdered half the cast, I would have been like, yeah, I could see that.
Right. But I don't think he ever acted unreasonably either.
Correct. But he also wasn't acting reasonably. You know what I mean? There's you can see the point of view, but you can also just be frustrated and say, trust is so fragile. And it's never unreasonable to not trust people. Even people you've known your entire life, there's danger to trust. So it's always reasonable to keep people in an arm's distance. But it's the prisoner's dilemma, right? Where it's actually better to trust if everybody does.
If everybody trusts, it's better for everybody. But if one person doesn't trust,
Right.
you don't want to be the person trusting.
This whole movie is just the prisoner's dilemma, the movie.
That sounds terrible. I mean, for me,
Sure, and that's
personally,
fine.
it doesn't sound
But you're
enjoyable.
also going in because it's called It Comes at Night, and the way they board up the house, you think there's things out there, and it's really It Comes
there
at
aren't.
Night. And what's coming at night is the guy's having some nightmares.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that happens at night, and there's actually nothing.
Also, the nightmares are completely irrelevant.
Correct.
Yeah.
Especially if because like Katie said, like there's something happens and you don't know who
She mentioned
caused
it
it
to
to
me,
happen.
but yeah.
And one of the possible explanations, one of two people sleptwalked and did it.
Right.
One of two people did it, and whichever one of them did it was asleep at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But the kid who has nightmares every single episode of night, like she said, they never
seen
set
sleepwalk.
up sleepwalking.
Right.
But they never set up sleepwalking for the other one either. Like, so whoever did it, it's the first time we've ever known them to sleepwalk.
Yeah.
Right.
Which gets into the thing you were talking about, why you hate Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Like, it's an entire book or movie where it's like, you want to try to figure it out because it's a mystery, and then at the end they're like, by the way, here's this information we didn't give you. Ha, we solved it.
Yeah, if the shows on Sherlock Holmes weren't entertaining for what they were, the mystery part is not worth it. It's
Right.
But look at but yeah.
Yeah.
But this movie just
It failed on several fronts, in my
Right.
opinion, and it's shocking to me that all of the reviewers and everything are like, oh, it's amazing, it's the best movie I've ever seen.
It's stylistic. It's dark. It gets the depression across. It gets the paranoia across.
It is well acted. Everything.
Yeah.
It's true. It's just it was marketed poorly, and I don't like the extra whodunit mechanic that they it felt forced.
It was forced because a reasonable person, like the other family, they needed to see the child, and the other one wouldn't show him the kid. And if he wasn't sick, then they would have just showed up.
Yeah, they just been like, here's kid. Okay, we're all happy again.
Well, I mean, on the other hand, people were shooting each other at that point, so it's not unreasonable. Well, people were pointing guns at each other, so it's not unreasonable for the mom to want the kid to just not see the violence.
It's not unreasonable, except for the dad was pointing the gun first, and I think that either way,
You're right.
I think.
Like if she'd be like, look, but
Yeah.
you're right. Like reasonably acting people could have diffused that situation by not doing the thing that's only there to feed into the shoehorned ambiguity.
Yeah, ambiguity that's
Totally
unnecessary.
understand.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
a movie.
So it's a movie. Doesn't sound.
It had tension. Everybody dies. It's depressing.
I mean,
The
you
end.
could put it on a Netflix and watch it, and that would be horrible because you wouldn't have paid for it.
But like the thing is, if I'm going to watch a movie that's mindless, even if it's well acted, if it's mindless or whatever, I would have just rather gone and seen like Baywatch.
Well, I think if it was promoted as a different type of movie than what it was, I think people would have still. I mean, you guys might
People
have
that
still
went
seen
to
it.
see it might have enjoyed it more, but I think a lot less people would have seen it, and that's all they care about.
And that's true because that's the thing is like I keep hedging my bets and it seems like I'm defending it, but I did not enjoy it. Like,
Right.
but I'm trying to. I can't decide if I had gone into it knowing what it was. Like
Right.
if you go to a pizza joint and you're told they serve the best dang ice cream and you're going to go out for ice cream and you're like I'm going to get ice cream, and then you go and you get served pizza, you're
gonna
going
be
to
really
be
upset.
pissed and you're not going to enjoy your fucking pizza.
Right.
But if you know you're going for pizza, you can and it's not fair to judge this pizza on the fact that it doesn't taste like ice cream.
And I get that. My question is, you guys universally didn't enjoy it, and maybe if you known what it was going in, you would have enjoyed it. But it's also possible it's just not a very good movie, and maybe if your expectations had been low, you could have enjoyed it, but that doesn't make it a good movie.
The film dissector in me appreciated the shit out of it.
Okay, that's fair.
And so I might have enjoyed it from that point of view, from the point of view of appreciating the sound design, appreciating the cinematography, appreciating all that stuff. I
And
might
that's
have
fair.
legitimately enjoyed it as an art film, but expecting a scary movie,
And
I
going
was
to see it
bored,
yeah.
waiting for scares.
yeah.
Like when we saw The Vavitch, I knew that was going to be a lot more artsy, and I was more mentally prepared for what that movie was. And I knew
what?
this,
The
the
Witch.
Witch.
The Witch, okay.
But and I knew this
So
movie was
these-
also a tad artsy, but the way it was being promoted heavily was just it wasn't. what it was.
Yeah, like same thing. I enjoyed The Witch a lot, and I don't know that it was any different, right? And so I don't know how much is my fault.
But we go, yeah.
Well, the marketing's fault, but you get what I mean, like as the viewer.
So I have a question that Nanya, Clitty, and Nick brought up. There was something Katie mentioned. Is she told me part of the reason she describes it as Last Man on Earth, but without the main character, is because you don't like any of the characters. Did you guys feel that way?
No, I didn't say that. I said it was like the guy. I don't know if you guys have watched The Last Man on Earth, but it was like the guy who's on the boat and like was always paranoid and had his spaceman suit, and then just like wanted to kill everybody so that he didn't get sick. That it was like that was your protagonist.
And I don't like that character at all. Like, I don't even like that character as an antagonist.
Well, this movie is 6 of that person.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, but I mean, in the situation they're in, they're not
So
wrong.
here's my question. If those are actually, if there's 6 people, and that's literally what's going on, then it's not a prisoner's dilemma anymore. If there's 6 people like that, I'm shooting the other 5 people as fast as humanly possible.
2 of those are your family.
Okay, then I'm shooting the other 3.
Okay. And so there's other people. Like, there's strength in numbers, you know what I mean?
Not if there's nothing to fight.
Well, no, there's other people outside. They're in a location. They're not the only. They're not the last 6 people on Earth.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's 6
only
people in
6
this
the film,
house.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was like a disease that was killing off.
Well, I get that it was a disease.
Even so, it's a family of 3, and they take in another family of 3.
Sure.
And even then, the only reason they decide to take in that family of 3 is if they don't, that family of 3 can find one more person, outnumber them, and then those 4 people can take that house anyway.
Because guns don't exist?
They all have fucking guns.
They all have guns.
Oh.
Everybody
That
has
house
guns.
is valuable
They just have
because there's
numbers.
A source of water
It's not Canada. Everyone has guns.
Yeah, but that's. Okay,
I'm just saying,
they have to
if
find
they
10 other
I
people.
know,
The
but
point is-
everyone in Canada
So you're
has a
saying if
gun.
they could
If they
go
have-
find enough people and
If
come
they
kill
have
them.
6 people in there, you know, they're like, we are 3, they are 3. If we take them in, we are 6 against the unknown everyone else out there.
Which
if we don't
increases
take
their
them in,
odds.
they are 3 people who know where we are,
And can go
who
get
know
more
that
people.
we are 3, and can do the simple math of figuring out how many more people to find to come take this place.
Right.
It's the
All
you know,
right, that's-
like there's
that's
a
fair.
point where you have to bring them in. Plus, they have water in their house. These people have goats and chickens, which gets you eggs and milk. I mean, there's other commodities
There's
to
some
thought
trading.
about.
Okay.
Also, there's the attempt to be decent humans and try to have a
See,
society.
that one, that's what I don't identify with. I'd bring them in, I'd bring in their sheeps and their goats and their cows, and then I'd murder the 3 of them in their sleep.
Right.
That's what I would do.
I think
I
that's
love you all to
actually-
death, but that's what I would do.
I
But
actually
you don't
think
know that there aren't 10 other people out there.
Yeah, I
Because
actually-
these 3, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, I will say one more thing, then you can go.
Okay,
You don't
thank
know
you.
for real these 3 are actually just 3. They claim they're 3. They could be part of 15.
Which is even more terrifying, but carry
Yes.
on, Katie.
I actually think that the family that they brought in was going around murdering people. I think that's how they got the goats and chickens.
It's possible. And those 2 guys, he might have known those 2 guys. That could have been bullshit. What's that thing
Yeah.
about his brother?
Yeah.
It's like Walking Dead without zombies.
Yeah, it really is just Walking Dead without zombies.
Which sounds terrible. I go back to this. I go back to if I'm going to spend 2 hours, even if money's not a factor, I'd rather go watch
If the
Baywatch.
world is ending and you are in that 2%, it's going to be terrible till that 2% wipes out. I mean, when
Yeah.
it's a world ending, if you're not in the 98% who've died or whatever percent it is, and it's,
Yeah.
you don't know for sure, but
Sure.
some high percentage of people are dead, and the disease is still floating out there, airborne. You know,
Also, no disease that virulent would actually survive like that. Like, they've just done studies that, like, the reason the Black Plague was so horrific is because it killed you so fucking slowly. Like, any disease that virulent, like, just doesn't spread.
Well, I don't think it killed them quickly.
you got it. You incubated for a day or 2. You wouldn't know you had it, and then you started to show slime. I mean, it was actually a long.
That's-
I mean,
So it's almost
Yeah.
the one in Africa.
No,
That disease. I cannot
Ebola.
think- Ebola.
Ebola.
we don't know how virulent it is. We never see anybody die of the disease.
Oh.
We see somebody get it,
Sure.
show sores 24 hours later,
Okay.
and then be shot and set on fire.
okay.
We don't know how long it takes
One
to
would
kill you.
assume.
and it affects all creatures, animals. It affects
One would assume if they've seen if they're taking that extreme approach, it's because they have reason to believe it spreads very easily.
Yes,
But
But they
that
don't
doesn't mean
know.
it kills quickly, which
I
was your
suppose.
point.
I
It can
suppose.
spread easily.
You could have sores for 3 weeks.
You could have sores for 3 weeks. You could have sores for 6 months. It could be 100% fatal, highly contagious, but slow death.
Okay.
We never see somebody die of the disease. We see them
okay.
die of holy shit, kill that guy, set him on fire. We don't want to catch the disease.
Right.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I would have seen that movie.
You still can.
You still can. Like,
I mean, basically,
it's not.
the way it was promoted. It was really promoted as a
Yeah, I didn't go 'cause
a
it was
monster
scary.
is coming and invading your house at night.
Nothing.
The name is
comes
It
at
Comes
night.
at
locking
Night.
up- and
It's
they're
called
locking.
It Comes at Night.
There is
locking
no
the door
it.
up.
It does not come at night.
No.
Yeah,
Night terrors come at night.
that whole thing just
A sick dog comes at night. A guy breaking in comes at night. A couple things do come at night, but
Yeah.
there's no it. There's
Yeah.
no zombie attack. There's no big monster.
They make it seem like it's like a Bigfoot or like some kind of creature that comes at night.
Well, the trailers also show like a lot of the trailers focus on the kid's nightmares. So when you're watching the trailers, you're seeing creepier things happen, but it's just all from his nightmares. So it's not things that are actually
Right.
happening.
So it's like Hercules.
Yep, a pile of trash.
No, no.
I said,
Anyway.
I will probably rewatch it later, like what's on Netflix or Redbox or something.
That's fair.
Knowing I want to watch it again and see if it's actually good, and if I just hated it because I was bored out of my mind expecting a
That's
horror
fair.
movie. Because it could be a good movie. That's why I gave a warning. I didn't put on Facebook, this
No, you
movie
didn't.
sucks.
You
I
did
put on
not.
Facebook, this movie's not scary.
Well, what I told Katie, though,
And my analogy about the suspense in this movie is like when you're watching your grandmother die in a hospice, or hospice. You know, because I've done that twice now, where I've
Oh, it's no
watched
fun.
somebody die, and I've literally held their hand, watching their breathing get more and more bedraggled, and then they just die. That's what this movie felt like.
that sounds terrible.
The director,
I would pay
think,
not
was,
to experience that again.
I think he was going for that. He was
Ugh.
aiming for that kind of, this is painful, and I know it's not going to end well, and it's emotionally draining. Oh, good, it's over with death. The end. Like, that's what the movie wants you to feel.
I still don't think that was well executed either.
Fair. And it might not have been. I'm
Because you
not
like
saying-
your grandmother and you don't like any of these characters, it sounds
Let's
like.
talk about something exciting for just a few moments.
Sure, like what?
I recommended a show called The Genius a long time ago.
Let's talk about some
I've
more.
been bothering Nathan, I don't know, a lot. Is a minor
2-3 years.
2 or 3 years. Well, and I only started watching it within the last year. My friend Tim told me about it. It's a South Korean show where basically they take C-list celebrities, they're pop stars, they're news anchors, they're just like they have like StarCraft players on
The
this.
StarCraft player is my favorite because his record, this is fucking heartbreaking. He has 22 second place national tournaments
Oh my
and
god.
0 first places.
Yeah.
Oh my
He is
god.
known in Korea as Mr. Second Place.
Oh my god.
So he's on there. They have an older with the pop stars. They get older and younger. So there's a very the actors like 12 of them. They're very interesting, and they play social.
13.
13. Yeah,
13. 12
It's
episodes.
basically a social. It's a social game. It's like
Is it Big Brother? Kind of?
Kind of, but they do a thing each episode.
And it's it. They
brother does that.
show up to the set. They spend like 3 or 4 hours, and they leave to their lives. Come back the next week. So they're not
Okay.
like the
So
show's
it's not like they're sequestered
It's not
anymore.
living there. It's just 4 hours of life a week. It gets broadcast before the next week, so they know it's on the air because they're all.
So they can actually watch everything that like happened behind their backs the week before the next episode.
They probably filmed all of them and then
It might. It's. I don't know if it's week. It's. There's some kind of delay, but it films. It actually goes up pretty close to when it's done.
does
But
it? Then yeah, maybe they can.
It might not be, but when people betray each other, they always tell each other because they always joke about it. But it's, it's basically social gaming. Like it's nothing as complicated as your Resistance. Like what's the first game?
So the first game, and each episode has a game that everybody plays, and then the winner. There's 2 immunities,
Sure.
and the winner either gets one for themselves and one to give away, or if there's a tie for 2 winners, they both get immunity.
Okay.
And then whoever gets last is going to get eliminated, and they pick another person without eliminated to go against them in a one-on-one game. So there's
Okay.
2 games, a group game and then a one-on-one elimination.
One's about 45 minutes.
So
one's
you
about
could
50.
lose every group game and never get eliminated.
Correct.
Theoretically.
So, like, the first episode was they had a 1-2-3 game where everybody was given 9 cards, 3 1s, 3 2s, and 3 3s. And then you got an hour and a half, and you had to basically play war against somebody. Well, not even war, like a trick-taking game. Like, I would take you up, and I go, all right, we're going to play, and we put down, and my 3 would beat your 1, and so on. And the winner is the person with the most wins,
At the end
and
of
the
the
loser
time.
is the person with the fewest. If you are left with any cards, you are considered to have 0 wins. And there was an odd number of cards, so they proved, like immediately just talking about it, that somebody was going to get fucked with the last card.
Oh, geez.
Because it was
Okay.
9 cards times 13 is an odd number, and you're using up 2 cards per game. So the whole thing then became not just maximize the number of wins, but just not get stuck with a card.
And then people could trade cards. They realize later on.
Well,
and
even
then-
they're like, can we just give each other cards? Like, yeah, sure. Do what you want. We didn't say you couldn't give each other cards. So one, like a team of 2 people, they had their 18 cards, and the one guy's like, I'll just you give me all your ones, I'll give you all my threes. You beat me 9 times. 9 will definitely get you the win. I'll get 0, so I'll be on the chopping block, but I'll have no cards, so there'll be somebody else with 1 card who will also have 0. And they ask the croupiers, and they're like, yeah, if there's 2 people with 0, the winner gets to pick one to not be the one in the elimination.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, I'll just throw you the win. I'll suicide myself to 0, but then you'll protect me. So it became a social thing,
Okay.
not just the card game.
Interesting.
And then every episode's different. The first, and then I'm watching second season. The games get slightly more complicated than that sometimes. And then the final battle was kind of like a rock paper scissors.
They metagame the shit out of that too.
Yeah.
The elimination was they called it winning streak, where the 2 people up for elimination each played rock scissors paper against the other 11 people.
Okay.
In the same order. So like the 11 people picked the turn order that they would have, and the person A went up and played rock scissors paper against all 11, then person B did it, and whoever had the longest contiguous winning streak within those 11 games wins.
Okay.
And so the 11 people went into a room and they're like, all right, tell you what, the first 10 of us will all let them both win, and then you, Mr. 11th place, will decide who we want to win. And you just beat the other person and lose to the other person. And the 2 people up, like one of them's like, I'm just going to do rock every time. Like, there's no game here. This is just an election, basically.
Yeah.
And so they just, instead of doing random rock, scissors, paper, they actually like made it a social thing.
Interesting.
and then you'll see who betrays, which adds all levels of betrayal options.
Well, yeah.
and shit.
Right.
Like,
They play the rock paper scissors ones 3 or 4 times. The last core they played this one game about 4 times, where it's like a South Korean game. It's like a tweaked version of a South Korean game. So when they play it, you're like, I actually almost have to Google how the game is played so you understand what's happening a little bit. But it's very cool. And every episode's a different game, and it's just all sorts of shenanigans. As you play it, the personalities of people is kind of fun, and the social element is amazing.
Like, no exaggeration, because it's an hour long. The last 20 minutes of this, I have only watched 1 episode. I watched this afternoon. The last 20 minutes, I was standing up in front of my couch, just hands on my head, because of the tension and drama that was going on.
That's amazing.
It was astounding.
It's
Because season 1's on Netflix?
And
on
it's
YouTube.
on YouTube.
On YouTube. I posted episode 1 on my Facebook wall.
Oh, okay.
Nobody's responded yet, which pisses me off because I have a lot of board gamers on my Facebook. Professor Luss is a fucking sociology professor.
Professor
This
Luss
should
would
be
love that.
up his butthole.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it took 2 or 3 years. Like,
For
this game was
like Brian's been
made-
telling you about this. This game was designed for Nathan.
To be fair, I started the first episode like right after he told us about it, and then I'm like, you know what? I should watch this with Raylene, and so I stopped it, and then I forgot it existed until he mentioned it again last week.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sounds like excuses to me.
It is, but I have twice watched it immediately after finding out for the first time in my life that it existed.
There you go.
I
You
mentioned, I
keep
mentioned this in the
nagging.
car, but because it's South Korea, they steal American music all the time. They just like they don't care about
soundtrack's
copyrights.
amazing.
The soundtrack's amazing. Like they'll play this theme. The Dexter Instruments being kind of a dick, and they have certain songs that cue and during the season you'll see people just do amazing, like just shocking things, and they have like special music for each time that happens, and it's
Even this first one was
Yeah.
fucking
Oh,
amazing. The twist at the end of this first one blew my mind.
yeah, there is some
It was baller.
yeah, it's
Maybe
Like,
we'll watch
and then
the
I got
first
3 of them.
track.
Can we see the 3 you have?
yeah.
Yeah.
And the way they film it, they edited this so well because it starts off and usually it'll start off and they'll explain the rules and it cuts ahead 2 hours later and it shows some sort of drama. It shows like 1 minute of drama and then it cuts back. So you kind of like get little hints of just shenanigans that it's building towards.
Yeah.
And it's just always. And then there's things that players do that are trickery that the camera doesn't always show you till a little bit later. So it's always bouncing back and forth in time.
The editing's really good.
So so it's.
Well, yeah,
That's
because like
really
the game match, like this first game will start in 1 hour, and then they cut to 2 hours later, and it's people just losing their shit and yelling at each other and being like, "What the fuck happened? He betrayed us!" And then it's like an hour earlier, and then it's the beginning of the game. And you're like, wait, what?
That does sound pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's just and because the show is just a game. There's no reality of them like living in a house together. Like none
Right.
of that. It's just literally the game. It's just they get together, they talk for a few minutes, and they just game on for the episode, and then it's done, and then it repeats.
That does sound enjoyable.
But you have because it's South Korean. It's all in
It's all subtitles.
subtitles.
Subtitle,
yeah.
but
That's
The first episode on the YouTube one, they actually have a cheat sheet at the very beginning of the first episode. They call it either by names like Opa or teacher. There's all these terms you use for like a younger man or older man that they use constantly.
Okay.
it's like in Japan when they say san or kun or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
for
same. So there's like a little. You get really familiar with what people are talking about because if you're dressing like a woman's dressing a woman, if she's younger or older, based on like your respect level, you have like 8 different ways you can address the person. So you kind of catch on to that after a couple episodes, and it's kind of amusing. You actually can catch when they're kind of being insultive to the other person just because of the word they use. You're like oh, I know Korean now. I know that word was actually kind of.
I know enough Korean to know that was a subtle dig.
yeah, if you like at all Like if things like the prisoner dilemma are interesting to you,
Then it's fantastic.
Yeah,
Yes.
this should have been a requirement for Lust's his degree or his,
Yes.
his paper.
yeah, or any game designer, it's yes, so good.
Very cool. I was telling Katie this on the way over, but Nathan, your guys' the cooking YouTube show that you've got up there, which, by the way, I have to give you the logins for your guys' YouTube channel since I set it up. 25% of your viewership from Canada.
That's because we're from Canada.
I'm pretty sure it's because War Machine players are from Canada. And we posted it on the Crippled System link. Like I think that like a significant percentage of people that like turned it on for just a second were watching it because it was posted via Crippled System.
Well, that's why I did
You also
that.
have at least one watcher from Australia. So there you go.
Score.
Woot.
Woot.
They have fish in Australia,
They do.
but do they have Brussels sprouts?
I don't know. I genuinely don't.
Spoiler for this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to this week.
I hate fish, and I fucking love the fish we made. Maybe you'll love these Brussels sprouts.
Maybe.
I'm looking forward to it. I had fun both watching you guys do it. Raylene posted it. I really enjoyed watching you guys do this. And my response was, I really enjoyed eating the food, but watching was a secondary fun.
Something I found funny, just when I first started playing the video, is the film, the screen comes up, and if you imagine like 5 equal sections on the screen,
Yeah.
Katie's dead center in the middle, and then I'm one.
And you're like way over the left. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't all
I
the
did
way on
try
the
to
edge.
t-
I was in 2 out of 5.
I tried to explain to you guys where like the
Yeah.
camera was pointing, and you guys like, no, we're good. We don't need to listen. I was like, all right, whatever.
Nathan's always in the
just centered
corner.
your wife.
You set up markers on the floor.
No, well,
No,
they're standing
I'm
behind a
always
kitchen. They're
standing
standing behind a
the
kitchen
same
counter, and
Yeah.
Katie was standing in the exact same spot she used to stand when she did the show by herself. Even though I explained to her the camera is still pointing the same where it was, you should move over so that you and Nathan share
You
center
say
screen.
even though I think it's because those are different phrases.
That's true.
There's
I was good where it
also
was.
a Batman tilt to it.
Yeah, a Dutch angle.
When did I do a Dutch angle?
No,
Or was it just the whole time?
The whole time. It's just
Damn it.
slightly tilted.
It is actually legitimately hard when you've got the camera like looking down at a long flat surface to not have an obvious Batman tilt. Like I fiddled with that thing for a while trying not to get one of those.
Well,
But
you're just a little crooked.
well,
It's fine.
I look at the world like this.
You guys,
Straight to me.
you guys were talking about. I'm sorry to. You guys were talking about music before.
Yeah.
And so there's been
Right.
a eBay commercial now that has reused a certain part of music that's bringing back weird memories. They used the music from Swiss Army Man.
What?
Really?
Yeah, the new eBay commercial uses the music from Swiss Army Man, and it's
That's bizarre.
it's very bizarre.
Swiss Army Man is very bizarre.
Yes,
A
yes,
lot-
it
I like
was.
the ending of that movie.
A lot of movies use music from True Romance, the "You're So Cool" music they play between like the two music. It's like this like little beat to it. I
Yes.
hear it in like so many
Oh.
other movies. And I'm like, it was first used in that movie. So whenever I see it anyway, I've seen it like a dozen times, and I'm like, well, now I need to go watch
The
True
little
Romance.
like dun, dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun. Yeah. That's they use it in like a lot of travel shows and
Yeah.
that, like go to your
I mean,
destination.
It's
and
a cool little beat. It's relaxing. It's neat. I mean, it doesn't. It's weird that it's in True Romance, but it fit for it. But it's like reused music. It's really weird.
Have you ever heard of the Amen break?
Amen.
There's like a 2-second long little drum rhythm that's in like 80% of music out there. It's absurd.
Sure.
It's the most used little hook in music history. 80% is an exaggeration, but it's in a lot of fucking music.
It's like the Wilhelm scream. It's in a ridiculous number of
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah. There's like an hour-long video just talking about the Amen break that's really interesting.
What's the Wilhelm scream?
Have you ever seen anyone scream in a movie ever as they're falling? That was probably the Wilhelm scream.
Or the Howie scream.
I don't know the Howie scream.
It's the the is it the Foundry in StarCraft when you click on it and somebody makes that screaming noise?
Yeah.
That scream isn't a lot. That's like
okay.
second behind the Wilhelm scream.
Like the
You
classic.
would recognize. I will play it for you later,
And
you
you'll
will
recognize
it, and you will never not hear it when it's in a
Yep.
movie again.
The first time I found out it was a thing, the person was talking about it in the context of Star Wars, the stormtrooper that falls.
in every episode.
And well, they were talking specifically in the very first Star Wars movie where they used the Wilhelm scream for that stormtrooper falling. And then now, like every movie I see, I'm like, oh goddamn, Wilhelm scream.
Well, it's like movies. It's like not like John Wick has ruined so many things for me because especially that
Because nothing will ever be that good ever.
Well, no, because of the editing. Because basically, when I watch an action film now, I see like 10 cuts per scene, and John Wick is like just action with very minimal cuts. And like even
Yeah.
this, the movie with Charlie Theron that's coming out, Blonde.
Atomic Blonde.
Atomic
Blonde,
Blonde is the same style where there's a fight scene and the camera they let the people doing the work, whether that's the actress or the stuntman, just do it so well that you don't need to.
You don't
cut
need
away.
a million cuts, yeah.
You know, like what? Yeah.
That would be the Wilhelm scream.
It doesn't. I don't. It doesn't sound peculiar to me. It sounds like all screams sound the same.
That's because all screams in every movie have screams.
So it's the same thing. Certain things just ruin it. So when I see any fight scene in any movie, I'm like, okay, that all I see now is 7 cuts, 6 cuts, 8 cuts. I'm not seeing the action.
You're not even seeing the action.
You're
You're
watching
watching-
Liam Neeson jump a fence.
Yeah, I'm like, it's 12 cuts from the cut a fence. I'm like, oh my god, I can't move.
Or like, God forbid, when you see shaky cam in a movie and you're like, I want to go back and kill the person that made Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
Like, it worked for Blair Witch Project. But
Well,
the problem is
it's
that
because
everybody
they're
else was
different
like, I'm going to do shaky cam.
The shaky cam.
No, but
didn't
that was
make
found
it
footage
scary.
for like somebody later on put shaky cam into
Something else.
non-found footage, like the
Oh,
fight
okay.
scenes in like the Born Identity.
Born
and shit.
Identity
Oh
was
my
real.
god.
Born Identity, I may have been the thing that mainstreamed it.
It was that and having the camera be too close.
The
Because
camera be too close thing's
that
really
because
annoying.
It was made the illusion of fighting seemed more intense with a shaking.
But that's
too
not.
close.
It's not though. It's just I just can't tell what's going on.
When Jim and Raylene and I saw the first Hunger Games movie, we were astounded by the shaky cam for fight scenes because of every mythological fictional place. That one has cameras
That are
being used
being
in
used.
the story. Like literally,
There's
they can.
literally
And
no
at
reason for
least they
shaky
fixed
cam.
that in
There are
the sequel,
camera
yeah.
people with steady cam. Yeah, like the sequels when they're fighting like outside. I'm like,
fixed
fine, I get it. But like when
But
they're
they
in
did-
the dome,
Yeah. There should never be a shaky cam
I'm
ever
just saying
inside
they
the
fixed it for
dome.
the sequels, but you are right. There was no reason for that.
No, there wasn't.
because then you see stuff like the Holly fight scene in Daredevil and Old Boy and whatnot, where it's one clip, or like you said, like John Wick, and you're like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Every
Yeah.
season now, like 2 or 3 times during a season, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. puts on like a 5-minute fight scene where it's just one sequence again, and it's so one like
And it's
scene
always
fights
really
are
good.
so.
Oh,
addicting.
here's the Howie scream for comparison. Or Andy's phone will be muted. but that was the Howie
That was
scream
the Howie scream.
on mute.
I just did it.
Yeah, he just did it.
Andy, you have a microphone. You hit it.
Oh, all right, fine.
You do have a microphone. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That
one
one
is-
sounds like someone being murdered.
well, yeah.
But yeah, the Wilhelm scream is in literally everything George Lucas has ever done.
Yeah.
Not only every movie, but every episode of Young Indiana Jones. Like Lucas puts in everything.
He loves the Wilhelm scream.
But the rest of the universe puts it in 50%.
Yeah, the rest of the universe is like, well, we should just have a Wilhelm
I've seen
scream
a lot
here.
of Disney films and that
Well,
too.
because the thing is, there's no reason. There is this giant collection of sounds. Like,
Right.
it's not just the screams. Like, thunder is the same in every movie.
Yep.
A knife being drawn is the same in every movie
Yep.
because they have these pre-made sound effects. You have to pay Foley artists if you want something new.
Correct,
yeah.
It's a lot easier to just pull up knife sound number 37
Yeah.
and go with it.
Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh. So anyway, that's that conversation. I don't even remember where we started that conversation. It
The Genius.
genius.
Ah,
which everyone should watch.
Yeah.
Which apparently
We're getting
you'll,
to it.
Apparently we're getting to
only greatly enjoy it.
Well, that's,
That's a
goofy.
That's the goofy one.
That's
different.
goofy.
Well, if we're playing sound effects,
Oh dear God.
Then I put mine away. Put mine away.
You know what I hate is that rusty metal noise that like reality TV does whenever they're doing drama. Like they go,
Oh, like a squeaky screen door.
and like they do that every time that they're like, "Oh my God, what happened in Kitchen Nightmares?"
Yeah.
It's like, shut up, fucking stop
I
it.
like the one that goes bump bump.
The Law and Order.
Yeah, they should do that.
Can we
instead.
just make a sound effects podcast where we just
we just-
list sound effects for an hour and a half?
I mean, that's basically what we're doing right now.
Yeah, that was
like
every episode.
that was like a quarter of part 10. It's like we just stopped- we reenacted so many sound effects in that
Yep.
episode.
we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody telling me how to raise my baby.
All right. What else we got for topics today? Anything?
I'm so hungry.
Andy's hungry.
Zappity
had
Grumble
pork.
time.
Was it Zappity Grumble
We're
o'clock?
not even an hour into it.
No.
Where's that?
That's
vapid?
we're going back to our first season.
Oh, I had a. Well, you talk about something while I look up something.
Words, stuff, buttergum,
Things.
I had
Nathan.
pork for dinner.
Buttergum?
buttergum.
It
Buttergum?
was delicious.
Buttergum.
We did have delicious pork for dinner. That's true.
Buttergum?
Brian
Buttergum
brought-
is delicious?
It was not. Brian brought a buttergum. He said pork is delicious.
Well, yeah.
Is that what you call pork? Just you call it
Buttergum.
Buttergum. What?
Brian and I can just talk about Star Wars for an hour if you guys want.
Yeah, you
No.
should play Star Wars
No.
Galaxy
No.
This
Heroes.
happens every
I
time Brian and I get
listened to
together, and Katie
Did
hates
Andy see
it.
Wonder Woman yet?
Nope.
God damn
God
it.
damn it, Andy!
Even Chris has seen.
Chris saw this morning. Yeah.
He's
All right,
seen
Nathan,
like
you-
I
3
feel like at
movies
some
a
point
year.
No, it's a clock. This next episode, next week, if Andy has not seen Wonder Woman, fuck Andy. We're talking about Wonder Woman anyway.
How come you didn't see it
You have a week.
You had the whole day.
I was busy. I wowed.
Somebody has a warm.
Somebody actually had a question about announcements that we didn't make, so we can do that while
there were
Nathan
some
looks.
questions up the top too. We
Yeah, but that's
scroll
about
up.
announcement.
But this is actually
a
like
cross
an-
tournament that you guys should go to next week.
We're not going there, no.
Cross tourney? I'd be
Andy will think about it, but not actually go.
Hey, my ride backed out on me.
You have a car.
He has 2 cars technically, doesn't he? Or did you finally
he
get rid of the
found
old
one.
Do you finally got rid of the old one?
How'd you not see it?
I don't know.
not there
It's
There was
just
a
it's like a
question.
wall, and it's just part of your house now. I just don't even see it.
The best part is the noise my car made when it towed away.
Scroll up to the
It
beginning of our chat.
screamed
I don't know how to do that on
all
here.
the way down the street because
Oh.
the brakes were all seized up.
Oh.
And the guy was trying to knock him
Loose?
out, and it
Yikes.
did not work. So it just screamed
Yee.
all the way down the street, and then he finally turned it around and then drove it back and just went all the way the other way.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
You need a truck with a bed on
If
it.
my he did have a truck with a bed on it, except for it had another car on it.
Oh, so he's that's fair.
So he finally turned it around and pulled it with the front wheels, which were fine.
Jeremy,
I
scroll
know.
up.
I don't have a mouse.
I'm
trying to make
Andy
Jeremy
has
do
the
it.
mouse.
While he's doing that, I found my thing, which was that I
Okay,
was
go ahead.
down in Dallas a couple weeks ago.
You were.
And I put out a thing. You know, I mentioned on the podcast, if anybody, whatever. So, David, a listener who lives in that area,
Sure.
reached out and actually hung out with him,
Oh, nice.
which was a lot of fun. We went to a board game store called Madness, Board Games and Comics. It was, so take like a Shopko,
Okay.
that big,
Oh my god.
filled with, there were like 100 people playing fucking board games in there.
Holy
It was
crap.
clean, it was huge, it was amazing. Like
That
it was
is
this
amazing.
giant mecca. They must have had literally thousands of board games and stuff
Huh.
from forever ago. Like
That's
stuff I
awesome.
thought was out of print. It was huge and cool.
Did you look for Blood Bowl team manager?
I did. Not.
Foul play.
I did not. I looked for a couple of games that I wanted that were out of print, but they didn't have those, so they probably didn't have Blood Bowl Team Manager Foul Play Edition. Anyway, so thank you, David, for touching base.
Yeah.
And then a funny thing happened where while I was down there hanging out with David, a guy named Tim messaged me, and he said, hey, or messaged us actually, he was on the Crippled System thing, and said, hey, I've got this game that I'm developing, and I've got a prototype if you want to come by and play it. And I said, thanks. I appreciate the offer, but somebody else already touched base with me. I'm hanging out with him, and then I put the phone in my pocket, and then I mentioned this to Dave, and he's like, "Was that Tim?" And I'm like, "I don't remember what his name was." So I pull out the message to see, and Tim had messaged me saying, "Is it David you're hanging out with?" And so then David and I went to Tim's place and played his prototype game, and it was a
Well,
lot of
there you
fun.
go.
It was a little skirmish. It's almost like not Necromunda. What's the other one? Mordheim. It's like a Mordheim style game, but like in the Matrix, like cyberpunk, cyber world, running up buildings and flying and shooting laser beams and stuff. It's actually a lot of fun.
Oh, that's really cool.
There's a couple cool mechanics in it. One thing that was neat, the way it used skill checks was like if I was attacking you and I'd attack attack's a bad way because if I was interacting with you socially and I had like a 5 in the skill and you had a 3 in the skill, I would draw 5 dominoes and you would draw 3. And then we would do like a trick-taking game, again, like the 1, 2, 3 game in Genius, using those dominoes.
Oh.
So since I've drawn more, I have a higher odds of getting strong ones, but we still have this game to play.
And you still only play the number of dominoes the smallest number person has?
Correct.
Okay.
And so I get to ditch my worst 2.
But
then if I, so
you drew badly,
if
then-
I drew badly, you could still beat me. Or it became interesting where like if I had 9, 5, 3, and you had like 6, 6, 4. Right. So I need to make sure that my 5 beats your 4, so that my 9 beats a 6, so I take 2
you
out of the
win.
3.
Yeah.
But if your 6s carry on my 5 and 3, and so it's actually really cool. It was a really interesting mechanic that I liked a lot.
That was
I'm
really
not
cool.
good at those
But
kind of
thanks to
games.
both of them for entertaining me.
Do you get to know what your other opponent's done?
Yeah, you showed them, and then I
okay.
ditched the bottom 2. So because there was a show where you could even just say, "Well, I am guaranteed
To win.
and then you
Okay.
would just ditch them and
Okay.
speed that. But if it wasn't a guaranteed win, then you did that thing.
Okay, very cool.
One of the people in our chat asked us, asked me, I guess, because I'm the person who did it, if our Shadows of Brimstone Wave 2 has been shipped yet from Kickstarter.
question.
It has not. I have not received notice.
There's notification. There's notification that you can go and pick up.
There's going to be I could drive to Seattle and pick it up, which is it's a little bit tempting, to be honest. I could probably have someone in Seattle pick it up for me
You could.
and then just mail it to me, but it'd be a lot of work. I would have to notify them by now. But I'm hoping that Shadows will be sent to the U.S. by the end
Apparently
of
they
the
got
year.
more stuff.
They're doing a variety of shipments for that company, and it's just going to take a long time. The company's very
That's fair.
slow.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
painful.
well, they're shipping out 1 billion copies.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 40, 50 pounds of stuff that I'm going to be getting.
Yeah, and lots of numbers.
But
of
it's
those
just, it's taking them forever. It's like almost, I mean, after like 3
Well,
or
I'm
4
sure it'll be the
years.
same deal where you could probably like pick it up at Gen Con or something.
No,
Right?
it'll be there. It'll hopefully be in the mail by then. But we'll see.
Okay.
But that was answering the question from earlier. That's all I had.
Funnel cake ale?
Right.
Funnel cake beer.
So that's a Hefeweizen. So that's just like a beer, and maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. But I'm fascinated by the fact that this is funnel cake flavored.
So these
So that's
are
the one I'm more interested in trying.
yeah. These are from Pierce Spoker. He
Like Lewis
Message-
Booker?
Like Lewis is it related
no,
to the art
no,
broker?
it's not
okay.
up.
Whoa, hello.
It's empty.
But no, he gave those to me at MomCon, and I just
Well, I
brought them
guess
home.
I guess
said
we have
would
beer.
drink
Try.
some
I
on
guess
the-
Katie's trying one.
Yeah,
I
I'm
hope
waiting
that was
for
what
you
you
two to
intended.
try before I open a second
I
one.
hope that was what you intended, Andy, because Katie opened it.
Because if
That's
this
fine.
goes over like an RC10, I'm not going to open a second one first.
It doesn't taste like an RC10. It just tastes like a beer. I don't get the funnel cake flavor.
It tastes like a wheat beer. I don't get the funnel cake either.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, it's not bad. It's a
Is it
wheat.
sweet?
It's a wheat beer. Do you like wheat beer?
Yeah, it tastes a lot like a Blue Moon. Like you need to put an orange in there.
Yeah, like it's not a bad wheat beer. It's just I don't taste funnel cake.
Yeah, I don't
Messed
taste
up
funny
the
cake.
tab. Okay.
funny cake.
Shut up. I don't taste funnel cake at all. But it is good. Forgotten Boardwalk
Forgotten
Brewing
Boardwalk
Company.
Brewing.
That cat has 3 eyes.
Like I don't even.
That is much better than that.
Is it okay? Andy's already tried this one.
I've
Apparently.
already tried the other stuff.
Apparently, it was not as good.
There's a
Yeah.
puddle. Can you get it for me?
Sorry, that was just I was
No, that's fair.
doing no lip.
You
No
need
lip.
an assistance there. There you go. Got it.
That one's a little bit stronger. That one has more of a fruity.
I mean, this one's
Fruity
a
pop
good
to it.
wheat beer. It's just I don't taste funnel cake at all.
It says always shimmy,
Busy.
never shake. Enjoy responsibly.
Well, yeah, don't shake a canned beer.
You shimmy it.
Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Duh.
Shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Pop.
Give it to me now.
What I figured.
Whatever, that was a perfect rendition.
I don't think those are even the lyrics.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay,
You should
what
hear
are
it.
the lyrics?
I don't want that. It smells like pee. Smell it. Am I lying? Just smell it. It might not taste like it, but just smell it.
Just smell it. That's the name of a sex tape.
It doesn't actually have. I don't smell pee. I don't really smell much of anything though. From
You don't
that.
smell pee? I do on a
I
regular
mean,
basis.
well, I have cats too.
Yeah, never again.
I don't smell anything.
Raylene will be like, "Oh, that
Yeah, I
kitten.
don't smell
I want to
anything
get
from
a
that.
kitten." I'm like, "Fuck
No,
you! Kittens
fuck
grow up
that.
into cats." And the best thing about cats is that they fucking die.
Yeah. I don't know if Katie's right about all
I'm not
pets. Katie may not be right about all pets, but the best thing about cats is that they
You
die.
know the greatest thing about cats, though, is they live longer than dogs.
Yeah, that angers me on so many levels.
No, but yeah, it's the reverse, because like when we got Kaya, like I'm that nihilistic and depressed about things. Like we got the dog, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna fucking cry my eyes out in
When
a
this
decade.
dog dies,
Oh,
yeah.
you do know that I know what the order. I have
Yeah,
a
Katie-
good idea of what the order
Katie
is
like
when my
calculated
animals die.
the order and rough years just so that she could prepare herself for the fact that she's going to be incredibly depressed. And like according to her math, there's like a 2 or 3 year stretch where 2 or 3 of them die like back to back to back. So that'll be fun for
She'll
me.
be both depressed and cheering. And
So I already have planned what the next animals that I'm going to get the next round.
No more animals.
Yeah.
Animals are terrible.
You're gonna get a parrot.
Spoiler: it's a cat.
No,
you should get a dog.
No,
And let, when
Hard no.
when
To be
your
honest
2
with you-
dogs die, get a third dog and let the dog inside like a normal person.
No, I don't. Cause it's so mean to the older dog when you get a puppy, and the older
Yeah.
dog's like, "What the fuck is this?"
Well, yeah, I mean,
Your
yeah,
replacement.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Well, exactly. I mean, you have to. Yeah, the
To be
elephant,
fair,
yeah.
Malcolm, when Katie brought Arya home, Malcolm was in a huff for like a month. Like, no lie, a month. He would just, every time he'd look at the dog, he'd go, and then he'd go into another room where no one was and lay down with his back to us for like a month.
I talked about the budgie paradox on here, didn't I?
The budgie paradox?
Raylene had a budgie, a parakeet.
Have you tried that?
Yeah, it's all right. You want to try a sip?
No.
Okay, I'll drink it. Did you try it yet?
I'll try it.
It's all right.
Why not?
She had a parakeet, and it was depressed and terrible and hated everything. And,
I think I
was
actually
molting
like
and
that better
everything.
than the funnel cake.
And so we looked it up, and the thing is, they're social, so they're
Sure.
not supposed to be alone. So we got a second budgie, and then what happened was they lived to be X number of years, and budgie 1 was X divided by 2
Right.
when we got it. So let's just say it's 4 years.
Sure.
So 2 years later, Budgie 1 dies.
Yeah. Now you
so
need
now
another
Budgie 2
Budgie.
is alone.
And
So we
depressed.
get a new Budgie.
Yep.
2 years later, Budgie 2 dies. So Budgie 3 is alone and depressed. So we get another Budgie. And 2 years later, that Budgie dies. And we're like, God damn it, we don't want to. And then a cat ate the other one a week later. And it's
Yes.
like, yeah, we're free.
The best thing about pets
is that
they
sometimes
die.
they murder each other.
Sometimes they die.
My cat killed my ex-sister-in-law's hamster.
Did it really? Is that Fuma?
I thought you were
my
going to
God.
say nephew.
No.
No, I don't. Well, we don't. I'm pretty
Katie's
sure-
brother and her ex-sister-in-law are currently getting divorced. So anything that ruins her ex-sister-in-law's life,
Well-
she's okay with.
Well, and this is the
If
best
then
part.
she's not your ex-sister-in-law.
I guess not technically
Soon to
yet.
be,
Soon to be.
So the cat must have eaten the whole thing too, because we never found
Oh.
it.
When Raylene's kids were younger, they went to like Disneyland or something. When they came home, the cat had killed the hamster and left it open for display in the middle of the living room. Like it was full, like
Yeah, eviscerated.
the
and-
cat's like, "Welcome home.
I
Look
got you
what I
something."
did."
I got you a present.
Yeah, that scarred the children.
Yeah, that'll do that.
My mom. I don't know if you ever met Mocha, but Mocha killed Freddy too.
Her fish.
My fish. Mocha just scooped it out of the bowl and then just left it on the counter.
Cats are assholes.
Yeah, they are. Cats are terrible,
Lord.
terrible animals.
You
The
guys are,
cats I like are the cats who are basically dogs in disguise, like Loki.
Loki actually was completely the opposite.
Yeah.
He was a terror when I first got him.
When you got him, yeah.
Yeah, we had like a couch. He would chase people across the top of the couch as they walk out of the apartment and attack them, and like biting on their arms and that. And then I got Cleo, which is the smaller one, and that changed him like
Dramatically.
Instantly, he was suddenly like, I'm tired. I'm just gonna lie down now, and then he became really the sociable fat cat.
He was very sociable by the time we knew you.
Fuma's pretty good. You like Fuma, right? Not you. I know
okay.
you don't like Fuma.
Now, to be honest with you, I mean, if you get a cat
Nobody
and
likes Puma.
you train it right, the unfortunate thing is that Nathan already had a precedent set from another cat in his place where it peed everywhere.
Yeah.
If you have a cat that
Once
does,
one cat has peed in a home, every cat will pee in that home.
Correct.
I think cats
Pretty
either
much.
pee or they don't, because even when Tippy
Yeah.
was peeing in my apartment, Fuma never peed.
I think
My
Fuma's an
first
exception
cat,
to that rule.
Alfie was great. I loved Alfador. He was great, but then all the other ones after that were terrible.
Yeah, Loki sometimes had issues where if I had a pile of clothes.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's also dealing with litter box. Maybe the litter box wasn't exactly the most immaculate.
Some cats, that's the case. Like, there'll be a neat freak, and so if the litter box, then it's kind of on you. Some cats are just like, you know what,
assholes.
fuck you. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna, you left your shoes not in the closet, I'm gonna piss inside of them because
Tippy
fuck you.
used to wait until I would make the bed, and then she would stand in the middle of it and pee. The first night that when Jeremy and we hadn't even started, so he was sleeping on the couch, and my cat came into my bedroom and peed on me.
On top of her in
top
her
of
bed.
me, in
So I'm
my
out on the
bed.
couch. The reason I stayed is I was too drunk to drive home to Mount Horeb. We were dating at the time, and so I slept on the couch, and I suddenly hear screaming, and she comes running out of her bedroom with her blanket, with a cat inside it, throws them both out on her porch, and slams the door, and I'm like, the fuck just happened?
Peed on me.
The cat peed on her
Now Tippy's nickname is Garage Cat, which is
Yeah.
where she lives happily.
because she revenge pees. She does not like me, and so she'll get in the house and she'll pee because she doesn't like that I'm around.
And sometimes it's a social thing too. It's
I'd
they
pee in
don't
your
like
house
somebody.
sometimes too because you're around.
Well, that's fair.
Yours doesn't smell like Tippy's.
Fortunately.
on your bed.
That's why we got the cover.
Joseph1313 asks if I ever heard a rabbit scream as a cat attacks it. I have
Yes,
not.
I have.
I have
It
not, but I had a
screams.
pet rabbit that screamed in pain as it died of a brain tumor next to my bed when I was 10.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was
That sounds
dying of,
terrible.
and so I'm sleeping. It's just, well, I wasn't sleeping,
No.
for all of that
Ugh,
night. But
no.
it just as it died.
Yeah.
That was fun.
We've heard many rabbits scream as
There's-
Arya kills them.
There's also
They don't scream. They don't get the full scream out. They get the ah! I'm like, oh, she just killed
No,
another
this
rabbit.
one was like for 6 hours,
God.
just screaming in pain.
You guys got
Oh my
hawks though
god.
too.
No,
Jordan
they have
has
hawks.
hawks.
Brian and Jordan have hawks.
We don't have rabbits
Who
anymore.
poops magnificently.
Poops like a king.
The Akers and I were at Brian's house. We're looking at the hawk, like, oh, wow, look at that hawk. And the hawk's just like, I think it saw us admiring because it just leaned down and launched a 30-foot arc through the backyard. It was majestic as fuck. It's like, boom! That was a rabbit yesterday.
Well, they were talking like they would see suddenly the hawk up in the tree there with something by its feet.
Oh,
and
it's
it'd
just on
be a
the
rabbit.
fence all the time, just gnawing on a rabbit, just kind of hanging
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Yep. No, we have Arya to take care of that problem, so there's no hawks over in our house.
My uncle was rototilling his garden and hit a rabbit nest.
I did that mowing. Well, I didn't do it. Our neighbor, we pay our neighbor kids to mow, and they were mowing one time, and I suddenly hear them start screaming, and I run out in the backyard, and
Yeah,
I
that's
thought that was in their yard.
No, it was in our backyard.
Oh, Fuma goes in the front yard.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
Well,
a kid and you run over with a nest of rabbits, because it's just like, oh my god.
I mean, because let's see, this was 2 or 3 years ago, and he just graduated from junior high. So he was like
13,
13,
14.
and his brother's several years younger than him, so he was like 9 or 10.
Ugh.
Yeah, they were not excited about that.
I just saw an announcement on Facebook about that. Is check your yard for like what looks like dead grass.
Yeah.
Look at that first because it might be a rabbit's
It might be a
nest.
rabbit's nest.
but then you just killed a bunch of rabbits, which is
as I
great.
say, the easiest way to find out if it's a rabbit's nest is to run it over with a lawnmower.
So
Well,
one
I just
time-
let my cat out there, and problem solved.
One time, the neighbor girl told me that Fuma was eating all the baby bunnies, and I asked her if that's why Fuma was so fat, and she didn't know what to say, so she laughed.
So he just went home. Literally, what was going on was
She thought you were going to stop Fuma
yeah,
from doing it or
this
something.
neighbor kid lives two houses down from us, and you could see from our front yard, Fuma had literally just like opened the lid of a candy jar of baby rabbits and was sitting there eating them one at a time in front of this little girl. Just like she'd take one out, she'd pop it in her mouth, and she'd chew for a minute. She'd take one out, she'd pop another jelly bean on in.
Oh, God.
Fuma goes for the easy
Nature
kills.
red in tooth and claw.
Yes.
Did you see those Chinese zoo investors?
No, what?
So, like, their zoo wasn't making money, and they were angry about it, so they just threw a live donkey into the tiger exhibit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the video's on the internet.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Like, yeah, it goes badly for the donkey.
No shit.
Like,
Did the tiger get injured? Because it can kick.
it tried, yeah. Like the tiger didn't get like a broken jaw or anything. The
Okay.
donkey did not go down. Like it went down swinging,
down
but did
swinging,
not
but-
land anything
Okay.
significant.
Well, you have to figure that. I mean, if they've been in a zoo for a really long time, they have to be a little bit confused for a
Yeah.
minute. Like, why is there a
Why
donkey
is
with?
there a donkey in my
Instinct
cage?
kicked in.
Yeah.
And they, yeah.
They figured it out.
But like, so the thing, I'm like, oh god, feed a donkey to the tiger. I'm like, that's horrible. And then I'm like, well, oh, it's in China. Like maybe, you know, when you think about it, that's kind of natural. Like maybe,
Yeah.
maybe that's just the way they're doing
Hey,
it. instead of just
if
the
you
right
knew
thing.
the Madison Zoo was throwing donkeys in a
I'd
line
go
every
watch.
so often, I think I'd probably start charging again.
And so I was kind of okay with it, and then I kept reading that like they did it because they were angry that they weren't making enough money. Like it was just they were just
just
pissed, so
anger.
they just sacrificed a donkey to the gods of capitalism.
I'm okay with
If
that.
I owned a
Hey,
zoo, Nathan,
China-
I'm not going to say I wouldn't do
that's-
that.
That's progress in China.
Yeah.
I would much rather watch the Chinese woman try to deal with like 5 panda babies trying to sweep a porch.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever seen the videos of that. Of just it's yeah. I'd rather watch that than some poor animal get.
Somebody
way-
asked why the bunny hate, and I guarantee the person who asked why the bunny hate is not Australian.
Or doesn't own a house.
Or doesn't own a house.
I used to have lilies. I
Yeah.
don't have any lilies anymore.
Yeah, rabbits are they're rats, they're pigeons, they're whatever terrible
Hey,
infestation of
hey,
animals you have.
do
with
not
good-
badmouth
with,
rats.
with good PR.
Yeah, yes, with good.
like that's what
Well,
they
rats
are.
are rabbits with bad PR.
Yeah, rats are rabbits with bad PR. They are an infestation that destroys things because there are too many of them. In small numbers, they're fantastic and they're an important part of the ecosystem. But when literally in our yard there was probably
they're
a
an
hatch of
important
bunnies.
part of the ecosystem when they're doing the thing that we're currently celebrating them doing, which is fucking dying.
Well, yeah,
A live rat is doing nothing
is
good.
doing nothing useful.
Except staying around so it can be a dead, not
Yeah.
rat, I'm sorry, bunny.
Bunny.
A live rabbit is just waiting to be a useful bunny.
Yeah,
I grew up, I had a pet rabbit, and then we ate it.
I had pet rats, but that doesn't mean I want rats in my corn silo if I had a farm.
A
right.
pet bunny is different than an outside bunny. Every time Arya has killed a bunny, she's gotten fleas. One time she got
Worms.
tapeworm from it.
Tapeworm. Yeah, they're infested animals. I mean, they're disease-ridden animals
And we're
that
not-
also destroy your yard.
And we're not allowing her to eat them. They just get
Yeah, just
infect
biting
that
them
rat.
enough to kill them. Because Arya, whatever breed, I don't know what breed Arya is, but whatever breed it was clearly bred to kill rabbits. Because she just runs out there, snaps its neck, leaves it there, and then just backs off and waits for us to come deal with the rabbit. She's like, look what I did.
Yep.
And it's like, we didn't train her to do it. She just does it. But, like,
She's a frontier dog.
she is, man. And, like, my point is she doesn't nibble on the carcass at all. But she's gotten worms, she's gotten ticks, she's gotten fleas. Like, they're disease-ridden animals.
And they almost killed my rose bushes.
Pet ones are cute.
Pet ones are cute.
Pet ones
There's
don't
one in my
have all
apartment
those
right
things.
now.
I know people
Again.
that, I'm sorry, but I know people that like pet rats too.
We got rid of it because remember, if you recall, my stepkids dropped it off at the house and then they just left it there for like 6 months and we finally made them take it back. Now they're just moving back in with us.
I feel like you're
back
losing
in
this
again.
game.
Wait, what?
Can you
Yeah.
just take
But
the
this
rabbit
time
and
we're
have them-
charging them rent so we can save up money for a house that they're not allowed at.
Sure.
That's the plan is for the next
How
however
is that-
long.
That's not going to work.
For the next however long, both couples are going to be paying half as much rent so that both couples can just buy houses and stay the fuck away from each other.
That's not going to work. You guys are going to buy a house and you're going to be taking them.
Well, we're thinking the flip side is we could, like, I did the math, and, like, we've got 3 pairs of kids and then us, and so that's 4 couples. If we got, like, a fucking mansion, like a 6-bedroom
Yeah.
huge place, we'd have 2 extra bedrooms. We could stay the fuck away from us, and it would be cheaper than each of us paying rent on our own place.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
need
but
2
they
kitchens.
but you want your own space. They're adults. They need to live on their own.
You need 2 kitchens if that's the case.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, but in a house that big, 2 kitchens is not uncommon.
Especially, like, if 2 of the bedroom, like, if it's one of those places that's like a 4 or 5 bedroom house, and then it has the little
Yep.
mother-in-law
So
house.
you're gonna buy 2 sides of a duplex, basically.
Yeah, we
Or
actually
do
did
that.
legitimately look at buying 2 sides of a duplex.
Hey,
That
there's
was
a
one of the
duplex.
thoughts.
I don't know if it's for sale anymore. Our friends recently sold it. The one that Jordan Gregg lived in.
Yeah.
You could buy that, and then
You could be a
go-
block away from us the other direction from Brian, and we could all just live on a street.
We also saw like one of those like hunting lodges with like the huge open area, and like it's technically like a hotel, so it has like 10 or 12 quarters in it
Yeah.
that each have like their own kitchen, and that was only like $1 million. I'm like, for 5 couples, that's only $200,000 each, which isn't bad compared to buying a house.
The all Hispanic community I grew up in, that was how everybody did it.
Well, there's a lot of real estate taxes on $1 million, and a lot of upkeep.
Sure. But there's 10 lodges in there, so we can make it the Crippled System house.
The Crippled System commune.
Yeah, we can have a commune.
No.
We start a religion, we don't have to
says he
pay
do-
taxes.
Nathan says he doesn't like any of us that much.
No,
You'd have to get it
like-
rezoned.
I've always thought about founding a new religion. I'll just take Christianity and get rid of Leviticus, because most people, that's the book they have a problem with. Because you get rid of that, and you get rid of like the God hates fags and the don't eat shrimp and stuff
you
like
do
that.
get rid of a lot of stuff.
And so if I just take Christianity and get rid of Leviticus, I think I could become tax-free.
Well, so here's the thing.
Katie's
the
gonna.
entity might be tax-free, but any income that you draw from it would still be subject to employer taxes.
Sure, but like that, if that is a commune that is like
you don't pay
like
property taxes.
monasteries don't pay property taxes.
So you would basically like, okay.
So I'd be
I
a
see
cult
what
leader, is what I'm
You
getting
would
at
be,
here.
yes, you would be a cult leader.
But I'd avoid the whole, like, 7 wives and all suicide pact aspect
Would you?
of it.
You know what? I'm not a not-for-profit.
I'd avoid the suicide
You'd
pact
avoid
part
the
of it.
suicide pact part of it.
Find somebody else to deal with
Those
that.
are bad PR things to do.
Yeah, just
okay?
don't do those things.
Yeah, so...
Or tell people about them.
Well, yeah.
That too.
You can make the children make little like dolls, and the women, the children and the women make little thingies, and then you can sell them.
Sell them as part of your religion.
Yeah, to raise money for your religion.
Sure. Men, too. We can all make stuff.
Cult leader Nathan.
No, the men are busy doing something else.
making more.
Making children that
Making
can
children
make...
that can
Yeah.
make, yes. Yeah, that's how the cult, that's why cults are so popular.
It's all coming
Digging
together.
All right, so we have a plan.
Now we have an episode title. We start a cult.
Yeah.
Crippled System starts a cult.
All right, so we doing some Zappities and
Do
Grumbles?
we have some
Cults
Zappities?
are just religions with bad
Zappity
PR.
Grumble
That is true.
time.
Train the kids to assemble Nis archers.
We can make a killing.
And that would count as our first miracle.
I can't assemble this archers. I'm a fully grown
Yeah,
man.
but they got smaller fingers.
Oh, they do.
That's true.
That's
It's
true.
like
They're go-
Snowpiercer or Schindler's List.
They're young and dexterous. They'll be great at it.
Or, good, never mind.
They have to be at least 6 though, because 5-year-olds' attention span is like not there.
But
And they
6-year-olds
have to-
suddenly have one.
And they have to be little girls, because little boys cannot sit still.
Zappity.
Yeah.
So the best thing about child labor is
There's one
they
Zappity.
die.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
die.
they
The
die.
best
Wow.
thing about child labor is that they die.
Wow.
They don't die; they grow up.
Well, not if you're working them hard enough.
Yeah, you're just doing it wrong if they live.
If they're assembling Nis hunters, they're not dying. Like, are you not feeding them?
Assemble more Nis hunters.
All right,
There's
starting
a
the
bleed
Zappity
out.
Grumbles.
All right, let's hear it.
Are you feeding them? Because that's expensive.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they get shaky, man.
That's a good point.
Oh,
this
my
is
God.
fine labor. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, best Queen soundtrack: Flash Gordon or Highlander?
Flash Gordon.
I have no idea.
I actually like Highlander better. I think.
Highlander's a better movie.
No, but I like the soundtrack for Highlander.
I like this. There's a lot more good Queen songs to the. I mean, the whole kind of magic, like side B. Mm-hmm.
But football fight.
There are some good. I mean, it's two good things. I'm going with Highlander.
Yeah.
Who Wants to Live
I'm going-
Forever?
I'm not saying the Flash Gordon soundtrack's bad. I'm just saying I think Highlander's better.
I like the one with Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's not a.
Maybe I just like football fight more than I like Princes of the Universe, and so that's
If you have
tainting.
Prince of the Universe, Who Wants to Live Forever, and you have the Kurgan's theme song.
I love the Kurgan.
Yeah.
You know, I got something to say.
Yeah.
Better to burn out than to fade away.
It's true.
You ever seen Highlander?
No.
Why
It
are you
had-
shocked by that?
It had Sean Connery
Yes.
as a Spanish person living in Scotland.
Yes.
He
Never-
tried to make
never
me watch
seen it. Makes
Highlander
so much
once,
sense.
but it
Also-
was really boring.
also-
I did try to make you watch
Our
it.
friend Jim, his only Highlander that he saw was
Well, his
The
first
second
Highlander
one.
he saw, yeah.
the second one.
Which is a bad decision.
Well,
Well-
then they made him watch the first one, and he was confused because nobody was talking about the fact that they were aliens.
The first one is also basically an open and shut movie.
Yes,
pretty
it is.
much.
There's
It's-
no reason for that to have a
There's
sequel.
no reason for it to have four,
No.
Someone
three
made
sequels.
a good TV show out of it.
The TV show was fantastic. I really liked the TV show.
But yeah, Highlander is a much better soundtrack.
The guy who played Duncan MacLeod in the TV show was fantastic.
Yeah.
Duncan MacLeod of Clan MacLeod.
Of Clan MacLeod.
You always have to say of Clan
Sorry,
MacLeod.
my bad. Of Clan
Jeez.
MacLeod.
God, that's
Zappity.
been 20 years.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. That's what the fuck was his name?
The actor? I don't
Yeah.
Hugh Laurie.
know. No.
I think it's Costas Mandalorian.
Bob Costas?
Bob Costas.
No, that is definitely not true.
Bob Costas.
As the Highlander?
There's the Highlander.
Oh my
there
God.
can be only one.
Zappity.
So it's not really a Zappity Grumble, but it's an interesting thing. So IDW does comics.
Okay.
Adrian Paul.
Adrian Paul. Yeah,
Ah,
whatever.
Adrian Paul. IDW does comics.
Does comics. So they do Transformers. So he's given a quick summary of what's happened in IDW's Transformers.
Okay.
Which Megatron is an Autobot.
Sure.
Optimus has a Next Earth and run up against G.I. Joe, Mask, Action Man, the Micronauts, and Rom the Space Knight. Rodimus leads the most dysfunctional, meandering starship crew outside of Farscape. And Starscream is elected Lord Ruler of Cybertron.
Digging
What?
it.
I might have to check out IDW's Transformers comics.
It reminds me of the time I randomly picked up an issue of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, and if I recall, so Leonardo
That's IDW as well.
was dead.
Okay.
Donatello was a cyborg, and Raphael was leading the Foot Clan after murdering the Shredder.
That makes sense.
That part holds together.
Yeah.
yeah.
All of those parts,
All
really
those
kinda
actually
make-
kinda
and
make
Michelangelo
sense.
was the only one that's still just like, hey, I'm a turtle.
I'm a turtle. I like pizza. Yeah. It all kind of holds together when you think
Well,
about
the
it.
cyborg I don't get because it was.
Donatello
does
love
machines.
technology.
He's the technology guy.
Well, I know, but it was back in the 90s. I'm like,
Sure.
Sure.
I mean, Cyborg, the DC character, has been around for that long.
I don't know who that is.
He's a cyborg.
He's a cyborg.
He's black
oh,
also.
okay. What?
Zappity.
He's going to be in the Justice League.
Oh, I know him because he's in Teen Titans.
Yes! Cyborg for Teen Titans.
Also that.
Speaking of which, Teen Titans Go, terrible. It pisses on the grave of Teen Titans.
That's
and
too
it
bad.
infuriates
Because
me.
Teen Titans was pretty good.
Teen Titans was amazing. Teen Titans Go is an embarrassing abomination.
That's too bad.
I wondered why it changed because I watched it with my niece.
Yeah, it's wacky, goofy, fun time now with silliness, as
Yeah.
opposed to Teen Titans that was actually like decent, heavy drama.
Yeah.
It still has
But
some
still
silly-
entertaining,
But
but
still
still had
entertaining
some
for
fun
kids, yeah.
stuff.
The weird thing is the art changes.
Like, yeah.
just from scene to scene.
The new one is about as deep as Terrence and Phillip. Like that's the level of and the old one, had drama and had comedy. It had a mix and it tackled serious things and whatever. Like there was Starfire basically going through puberty and discovering stuff, and that's an important thing for kids of that age to watch and learn about, and so on. Now it's just wacky shit.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Zappity.
Zappity Grumble. This same user also has an unopened bottle of Jack Daniels that is 17 years old.
Ooh.
Should he drink it?
Sure.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll go bad.
He has an 8-year-old bottle of Southern Comfort.
Yeah, sure.
That one definitely didn't go bad.
He knows
No.
he can buy that stuff fresh, right?
I
It's
actually
probably
wondered-
not safe. Send it to us and then buy yourself some new stuff.
And we'll double check it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nathan and I specifically will
Yeah.
double check it for you.
yeah,
So I need to buy some 7-Up.
Yeah. And then you can check it for him too.
Fireball
No, I'm not
whiskey
gonna
and
check it.
vanilla Coke Zero is really good.
Both of those things sound awful.
I'm not a
Oh.
fan of Fireball whiskey.
Oh,
Neither am I by itself, But
somehow with
when you
vanilla
mix
Coke?
it with Fireball and root beer is a classic.
I've heard that. I've tried it. I didn't like it.
Yeah, the Fireball and vanilla Coke. Do you like cinnamon at all? In
I
general?
do. Fireball is just so cinnamony.
Yeah.
Like
We could do Goldschlager.
I actually like Goldschlager, which is a similar flavor.
I
It's
got
just
very
not as
sick
strong.
off of Goldschlager.
What?
Goldschlager did not work well for me.
You had an issue with Goldschlager?
It's wasteful.
When he throws it up, it is.
It's not good.
No.
Zappity.
Zappity Grumble. Has anybody been watching this season of anime? If so, thoughts on My Hero Academia
Of anime, it just seems like a joke.
and Attack on Titan season 2?
Oh, I am not up to date, no.
I've not watched any of those.
I've
at
heard
all.
Samurai Jack had an amazing season.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I've heard
I
good
thought
things about
Samurai
Attack
Jack-
on Titan.
Was done with.
It was, and then they brought it back for a season.
Okay.
And supposedly, whatever came back, like the AV Club gave most of the season like got A's like for the review.
Wow.
I thought that he talked though in the
He
new.
talked to the original one too. Not a lot, but
All I know is the new one's amazing. I'm debating watching it with no context of the old stuff and see if I'll still enjoy it.
That'd be interesting.
Whatever the AV Club gives, basically an entire series of a show at
An
the
A?
entire
It's
way
probably
through,
pretty good.
It gets on my radar, regardless of the genre.
I haven't watched the new one partially because Mako's dead, and he did such a good job as the voice of Aku. But I'll have to get over that.
I've never watched Attack on Titan. I've heard that's kind of cool too. That's one of the. I'm not a big anime guy, but that intrigues me, and I kind of want to track it down.
Heard a lot of people talk about that.
It's
They're
not
doing
on
a live
Netflix.
action Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Seems incredibly
Having,
pointless.
seen
having
it.
just watched it recently, I don't have any strong. I'm not people who've liked it for decades who are very sensitive, but I also did. I also wasn't offended by the recent.
Ryan and I enjoyed Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, so
So clearly we're not aficionados.
All right, Zappity.
Grumble.
Are any of you tempted by 40K 8th edition?
Nope.
I don't know what that is.
It's Warhammer 40K's newest edition.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think Nathan and I might play a game in it.
40K always has intrigued me, but I probably will never play it. Like I would like to play, and well, you guys are arguing. Orcs are always amusing to me. Like if I was ever to go back into any Warhammer game, I'd probably go to Orcs.
I'd pick, if I went back, I'd pick Tyranids up again.
Yeah, Tyranids and
Necrons are amazing.
are the two
Fuck
races I
Necrons.
like.
Fuck
I
you.
like both of them a lot, so I'm intrigued.
Johnny
But
come latelys.
We-
We're robot Egyptians. Fuck you.
We are going to battle. You and I,
That's fine.
we need to battle 8th edition, live streamed, us throwing buckets of dice at each other.
As long
Using
as
other
somebody else
people's
makes
models.
somebody
Yeah,
else
we're
can
not-
make the models, and I'll just learn
and he
what's
has
happening.
a good resource.
Yeah, I have a good
Players.
resource.
Fine, that's
You do
fine.
have a couple of people
Make
you know.
make some lists. I don't want to know what any of my shit does till I sit down at
Watching
the
you
table.
guys play, sit down fresh with two lists, get like a 5-minute how the game is played, and just go and have your advisors have the patience to sit there.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
And just stop you from doing really wrong things, and just kind of guide you through the rules just gently.
All I know is
Or-
I have to
or
shoot all
harshly.
this shit before
Yeah.
it gets to me.
Yeah.
fine then.
Well, you have to start gently until things loosen up.
I don't know that holds. All right, Deputy.
Grumble.
But I am intrigued by what it is
We really
because
are.
it is a big corner of miniature gaming. So I'm curious to
That's how
see
turkeys are made.
if it's well received.
You didn't make the neck.
Christ.
Well, Jeremy couldn't even do the high five turkey. What the fuck?
I got it.
I
Third try.
have no problems with 40K existing. Like, Age of Sigmar was an abomination because it took the rank and file game and lobotomized it and turned it into a skirmish game. You know?
Yeah.
And 40K already is a skirmish game, so it's not really changing that much.
Yeah,
so
it's just more
it is what it
40K,
is. You know what I mean? So it's fine. Whatever. Be what you want to be.
I mean, the current edition of Age of Sigmar is decent in what it is, but yeah, it took away a lot of the classic strategy of the old.
The current
Fantasy.
edition of Age of Sigmar might be a perfectly decent skirmish game, but that still means that they killed a rank and file game.
Correct.
And that's the issue with it, even beyond the pretend to ride a horse shit.
and how they did it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
The process.
But that's not 40K's fault.
I've been so busy with games that I haven't done much of my Rune War stuff, but I will say Fantasy Flight has come out with like 6 or 7 or 8 expansion stuff for Rune Wars already.
Sure.
And that ranking, I'm watching. I'm on some Rune Wars forum. And I'm watching people play these games, and I'm seeing these lists with all these different models and all these different like things being made. And it's really like wanting me to like find the time to like do it. But it's just like I have to give up some board game. It's like first world problems. I am
You
overwhelmed.
literally are running out of nights to play games.
Yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to fit Rune Wars in, but I'm watching the videos of people play games, and it's just amazing.
This is doing the IPA thing where the warmer it gets, the more hoppy it
Oh
gets.
no,
so now I
no,
want
no,
it
no,
to die.
no! I'm done with that. That I'll pass
When it was
on.
cold, it was okay, but now I can taste the hops, and I want to start killing random people.
That's fair.
All right. Andrew Groves, thanks for all the hard work Andy puts into this podcast.
True.
Nobody else puts any effort into this.
That's true. The
podcast.
rest of us just show up,
you
spew
guys-
nonsense.
No, I'm
for
not
an
even
hour.
being.
No, I'm
snarky.
not
Like,
either.
I'm not complaining for him calling you out. I'm
No,
agreeing.
no, I'm agreeing. Yeah,
We
Ditto.
show up, we talk, and we leave.
Yeah, and then Andy spends hours fixing it.
Not really hours. I mean,
He doesn't
I
put
would have
awesome
to spend.
star wipes like you did for our cooking show.
Yeah.
Wow, those special effects.
I know. I told you it was going to be pretty good.
I like the incredible Mr. Lippet style talking fish cartoon that you threw in. That was really impressive. Hey kids, I'm really excited to be here today. That was that part.
Yeah,
Why did
Hey,
my phone
you were
just do-
tromping on Andy's kudos.
yeah.
I kudoed him as well.
And they made it about you.
As it says here, it's a great
it
to
about
listen
Jim.
to.
You're still tromping on his kudos.
Andy, go ahead. We'll make Nathan be quiet.
I'm reading directly from here. Is what would you do if I sang out of tune
I
Wow.
would stand up and walk out of the room.
I would stand up and
No.
walk
Would
out,
you
walk
stand
out
up
on
on
you.
you?
and walk out on me?
Not of the room, out on you.
I was twisting.
No,
Also,
Yeah.
is it key or tune? You said tune. That's what confused me. It
It's
should be
tune.
key.
it's tune.
No, it's tune.
Well,
Oh yeah, that's
It's
If
out of
I-
tune. Yeah.
Tune.
Come on, Wonder Years.
Come on.
Jesus Christ.
Walk out on you.
Yeah, that's crazy because that doesn't rhyme. Anyway, Joe Cocker's great, but he
Yes.
does not have cerebral palsy as much as his dancing would make you think he does.
That's a Beatles song.
But the Joe Cocker version, it's kind of like All Along the Watchtower is a Jimi Hendrix song. Like, even though Bob Dylan wrote it originally, when you think of All Along the Watchtower, you think of Jimi Hendrix. And as much as I love the Beatles, when I think of that song, I think of Joe Cocker because
Yeah.
he killed the shit out of that song.
Yes.
My mom's favorite song is "You Are So Beautiful" by him.
It's a good song.
You should check
Him
out.
breaking at the end of that song, like he can't even finish the song because you can. That voice break's amazing.
You should watch the video of old SNL.
Joe Cocker doing the song.
No, of Joe Cocker and Jim Belushi
behind him,
on
yeah.
the stage doing it with him, which Jim Belushi was amazing back then. All right, so
John Belushi.
did I say John Belushi?
You said Jim Belushi.
You said Jim Belushi.
Did I say
Was
Jim?
it,
Yeah.
I think it was Jack Belushi.
It was not Jim
Did I,
Belushi.
did I really
definitely
say
Jack
Jim
The wrong
Belushi?
Belushi died. Yeah, you said Jim Belushi.
Yeah.
Jim Belushi has never been amazing. Except when he accidentally played a transgendered cow.
The Life According to Jim.
Whoops, I really did not mean that.
That's okay.
What would you consider a good convention to attend first time ever War Machine or board games?
Gen Con.
No, not for War Machine.
No. What would
board
consider a good convention to attend for a first timer? War Machine or board games?
Oh,
I would recommend going to like Origins or Gen Con.
Yeah, I think for a
Those
first-time
is-
convention goer, I think those are. It's not that I don't enjoy War Machine conventions because I do, but I think for a first-time person going to a convention, like you're never going to experience anything that's as amazing, in my opinion, as like a Gen Con.
Well, that's the thing. As a first timer, do they want to deep end it? Like, because Gen Con's fucking huge and fucking overwhelming.
And that's where Origins is like Gen Con, but from like 10 years, 15 years ago.
Right.
Origins
So I'm
is
wondering if
smaller.
Origin, like, if you want to deep end
Just
it,
next
you're
week.
right. Like,
Very soon.
Gen Con's insane, but you're also, you know.
Well, I guess okay. Here's the thing. I would still stick with my recommendation if you have like 2 or 3 friends you're going with. If you're soloing it, then I agree. Gen Con as your first convention is a terrible idea because you want to go to a smaller convention where you can make friends and start to get to know people and like build that social aspect, which doesn't happen at Gen Con as much because it's so freaking huge.
I don't really think of Gen Con as that big.
That's because we only go to like 3 rooms at Gen Con.
yeah. Like, the amount of stuff going on is insane. And that's
is.
the thing is, like,
The only other time I see you guys is at the hotel room lobby.
Yeah,
playing board
playing
games.
board games.
We always walk down to the War Machine room usually every day.
We go down to the War Machine
We go
room. We
several
say
times
hi.
a day.
We go to then we go to the floor and we shop till we drop, and then we go play board games back at our hotel for the rest of the day.
It's when you have to walk the length of the convention all day, like when I was running events for things. Yeah, then you realize how big it is.
Yeah, it's huge.
if you can focus on like a half dozen things a day that you want to see, Gen Con might be okay. But if you're the kind of person who's going to want to do it all,
It's overwhelming.
It's just overwhelming.
The best experience I've had at Gen Con, and it was hilarious, was Brian and I, when Pokemon Go was still a new thing, and we were still like walking a lot.
It was
Him and I
last
went to
year.
Gen Con for a day. Just him and I. We did Gen Con all day, and then we went Pokemon Go walking for I don't know how many hours, and then we drove home.
It was intense.
We wound up, as I recall, we had to get a hotel because neither one of us felt safe driving the whole way home. We were going to just drive home, and we were like, we will die. We cannot do this. This is a bad plan.
Origins for board games is great too because the open play at Origins is much more organized than anywhere else I've ever been because they have this huge section and basically they just rope it off and then you just get a badge. You're going to like walk in and you get cones. You put a cone on your table, which means you have open spots, and people put the game box next to it, so you can just like walk around. And you can just see
find a game.
These 8 people have free spots, and you can.
So that's fantastic. I would say for a first time convention goer, if you're going by yourself, you want like an Origins, or I would say War Machine Weekend's fantastic for a first convention, or if you're by yourself. Because people are very friendly. It's a smaller community. It's easy. Carl runs that event really well.
I think for if you'd have to have some inkling of War Machine in general.
Yeah, but assuming
if he's playing and listening to this podcast, he does.
Well,
or board games.
Like
Yeah,
this
our
podcast probably.
podcast is
But there's
not-
a lot of people play board games there too. Like you don't have to play War Machine.
If it barely counts as a convention. I mean, it depends. Like, there's no celebrities. There's not like really the vendor hall like there is at a Gen Con. I mean, there's the small stuff like the Muse guys and whatnot,
but
but
it's
there
different.
isn't 1,000 stores selling pre-release board games and whatnot. Blah blah blah. But like, so that's even smaller.
Yeah.
Right. So it's either War Machine Weekend is the small intimate one.
Yep.
Origins is the real deal,
but
not
smaller.
overwhelming, and Gen Con is the deep end.
Is the deep end, and then everything else is somewhere on that spectrum. But I would say if you're going with a group of friends, bar none, if you may never have another convention experience, and this might be your only one, and you've got 2 or 3 friends, go to Gen Con.
If you're terminally
If
ill,
you're
and you have
terminally
1
ill,
year, go to
and
Gen
you have
Con.
1 year, go to Gen
It's
Con.
also I'm in
It's
that
also the 50th anniversary.
I'm in
this
that
year.
stage now where I'm sort of like I'm not going to Gen Con.
No, you're gonna go. We know you're gonna go.
I don't have a room. I don't have a badge. I don't
You
have
can go
anything.
for one day.
The first time we went, we didn't have any of those things. We slept in a room with about 30 people.
And that hurt so bad for so long.
Travis mentioned Adepticon being a good first-time convention as well.
It can be.
It is more focused on War Machine.
It's very
Like,
focused.
people-
on miniature gaming.
Well,
miniature
sure,
gaming.
but I mean, of him bringing up War Machine and board games. I'm saying of those two. It's less of a board game. Like, it depends what he's focused on. If he wants to go for the intent of playing miniatures games, War Machine or otherwise, Adepticon is the most miniatures game focused of those 4.
No, Adepticon's really good.
Adepticon is also exceptionally structured, so if you want that, it's also good. It's, some places like War Machine Weekend is more loose and relaxed, in my opinion, and also the barbecue is phenomenal.
The barbecue is amazing down there.
It's so good.
I like Adepticon a lot, but I would, as a first-time convention goer, I would find Adepticon very stressful.
I mean, it's all basically just Famous Dave's. It all tastes the same.
Fuck
I don't
you.
think that's true. See, this is the difference. When I go to Famous Dave's, I have to go home right away, and when I go,
Oh, I don't even get out of the restaurant. I pay the bill, I go destroy the Famous Dave's toilet, and then I go home. But the actual, like, it tastes...
Is that now a verb for you now?
Fuck you.
Famous Dave's
so-
is now a verb.
Oh my god.
The
I'm gonna
difference,
fix
the quality of taste.
Nathan and I are not friends anymore.
I thought you were a connoisseur.
I am a connoisseur, but there's certain... It's the pizza thing, right? Or steak. We were talking about... I think it was with you. We were talking about steak. I think it's
I
gray
eat
hair. Have
pizza
fun.
17
No,
times
no,
a week.
no.
I can tell a
It
very
looks
good
like
difference.
rice.
There you go. You got it.
You got it.
You can say all pizza's the same because you're wrong.
I'm not going to say all
Sorry.
pizza's the same. I'm saying there's shitty pizza here, and there's amazing religious experience here.
Yeah.
And this entire middle ground is basically tied.
I don't think that's true.
Like-
you're wrong.
No, you're wrong.
Middle
you
ground-
are wrong.
Like...
There are
Like there's
Same with
smoky
like,
bones.
like steak, like a Chili's steak. Like as long as they don't cook it to shoe leather and fuck it up, a steak.
They always do.
I agree on the steak category.
I do not
to me,
agree.
a lot of foods are just preparable in a that's good.
I don't
level.
disagree with you about steak. Barbecue, I disagree on. Barbecue, of all of the kinds of food that exist in the world, barbecue is one of the things that I can say without beyond a shadow of doubt. Yep, food is art because barbecue exists.
I'm going to go on a work trip later this year, and I'm probably going down to like Tennessee or Georgia, mostly just for the barbecue. Like, I mean, I can pick where I want to go to do some stuff for work, and I'm just going to go hang out in a field office for a week. But I'm going to pick. I'm basically going to research the barbecue locations near where I'm going to go, and that's where I'm going to pick.
I mean, there's a place outside of Dallas that had barbecue, and my post that I did on Facebook first, and then I put as my Yelp review that said, "If you are in Dallas and you don't eat here, you're a fucking idiot." That was the entirety of my Yelp review because it was goddamn amazing. So I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but I'm just saying like.
I think
Sometimes
Famous
you have to
Dave's
go
is
with
on the
what-
shittier end, though.
Maybe. I mean, I'm being. I did that partially for effect, but the point is, a decent barbecue place is pretty much dime a dozen.
I find it.
It's
I
like
think
a
it's actually
decent
really.
steak place and a decent
And see,
pizza
that's where
place.
I disagree. I agree on the pizza and I agree on the steak. I think it's actually really hard to find a barbecue place that is of good quality. Personally, for me.
In Madison, because that
Well,
one guy
anywhere.
cloosed.
Like with exceptions like St. Louis.
Papa
where
Bear's
apparently
closed.
everyone-
I was
Oh.
surprised by the place walking next to the game store. I thought was actually above average.
Well, the place in Milwaukee, yeah, that was really good. But like, I've lived in Madison all these years, and like Famous Dave's is the best we've got for the most part.
That one place was good
there's,
for a while.
there's
The one place was
Smoky
good for a while, but it
Jones-
closed.
Smoky Bones up north.
Hell, even the
North-
Dickies
north
over
side.
on Greenway is better than Famous Dave.
Yeah.
That's possible. I haven't eaten the Dickies.
You should
Dickies
try-
is a
It's gotta
chain,
be
but Dickies.
Newers.
At least a year, but it's not like a decade. But yeah, and
We
Dickies
don't
is
go
a
to
chain.
Greenway
You
a
see them
lot.
all over the place, but
Yeah.
it's good.
Okay, might have to try it.
Just check
You
it
should
out.
talk to Jim about barbecue. He'll lead you in the right direction in Madison.
He does seem to have pretty.
And I'm not saying that shit isn't better
Right.
per se, but I will say is that like I'm perfectly happy with a decent barbecue place. That seeking out those A+ ones involved. You guys go on like a half-hour car ride, and then you wait in line for an hour, and you pay twice. And it's like I'd rather just get a decent barbecue and just.
But that
not-
wasn't true. When we were in St. Louis, there was the place that the only place we went twice was close. There was no wait. The barbecue was
that
damned
Sugar Fire?
amazing.
It
Yeah,
was-
Sugar
it
Fire.
was
What was the
next to
other
Asian-
one
It
that
was-
wasn't Sugar Fire?
There was Papa something.
Papa Bear. That
Papa
was
Bear's was probably better, but it was more of an ordeal.
Papa Bear's was the one here.
Oh,
I think
no,
you're
no,
mixing up.
yeah,
names.
we are.
There was
I have a shirt. It's got a piggy on it.
we
It's
are
red.
naming the one here. It's,
But whatever the one there was, it was more of an ordeal. There was a drive, parking was
a
hard,
longer-
it was long wait.
It was longer wait.
It was
That
better.
place has a
good.
longer drive. Sugar Fire was closer, but when I went to Sugar Fire, there was like a half-hour wait.
Oh, see,
Oh,
there was
we
we
never
So
did
never
that.
the one
had to
place was
wait.
a half-hour drive, and the other place was a half-hour wait, and neither of those places was enough better that I was worth wasting an hour of my seeing people I see once a year life.
that
We just drug people with
that
us.
place we drove for half an hour with. Those ribs.
Those ribs were amazing.
I've never had
I was
ribs. as good
happy.
as that.
I was perfectly happy.
I like Sugar
but
Fire better. Was my consensus.
I didn't have ribs at Sugar Fire though.
The ribs at the other place were better, but the brisket and pork,
The
like
brisket.
they each did one thing better
The
than
brisket
the
at
other.
Sugar Fire was
I
amazing.
had brisket at all three places, and the best brisket was the place that you had to drive and wait at that time. That was the best brisket.
Well,
I had.
we'll
I had
try
Sugar
more
Fire.
St. Louis meat in November.
In November.
and report on it.
God,
Just don't get barbecue in Texas, like the Texas style barbecue where it's dry and they just put like 80 pounds of black pepper on it instead of sauce, and it's just garbage.
To be fair, that can be done well, but often isn't.
So did you have non-Texas style barbecue in Texas? Then?
Yes, I had St. Louis style barbecue in Texas, and it was amazing.
They didn't like set the place on fire. It was like
It
a
was great.
they was like guards.
So happy.
That's actually kind of amazing.
all right, Zappity.
Grumble.
Since the disband of the press gang, has your area experienced growth or decline?
I think CID's been fucking with it.
Yeah,
Of
I don't.
anything.
I don't blame the
CID.
PG thing. People are
The
upset
community
about the
integrated development, where like
Yeah.
the play testing, where they put out fake rules. Oh, that's
Yeah.
where Brian threw my phone.
Yeah, the PG
Thank
thing
you.
had no impact.
Yeah, I didn't notice an impact from the PG thing. The CID thing has had an impact.
Because the thing with the PG, if you have people who are going to run events, they don't need a title to run events. If they're good people, if they were fucktards who did it for the attention, fuck them.
Yeah.
You didn't need them.
Well,
and they were
Madison's
running
in the-
events before they became PGs.
Yeah,
That's how
exactly.
they became PGs.
Well,
and now
that-
that they're not PGs,
Madison's in a weird position though, because we were in a situation where we had 4 PGs all at once, and
Well,
more people
it
than
was
wanted to be.
established.
It's a very, very established meta.
But I mean, because like Rune Wars, like they decided to pick Monday nights that I'm bored for. But I would have championed any night of the week that I was free down there. And I wasn't going to be. There was no press gang for Rune Wars, but I wanted to play. You just have people who like a game. We'll work with the store and say I want to play on X night. And you go down there for a couple months, give it a chance. You show up every week. You don't need a title to be special. CID. What killed me about that was the community.
The way the community reacted.
They're so
Entitled is the word you're
titled,
looking
and
for.
I can't handle the people anymore.
I'm sorry, you guys told me. What is CID?
community. It's an open play test. Like Privateer says, hey, this week why don't you play Kara Sloan as if these were her rules instead, and you play her that way, and you give them feedback, and she might change to actually have those rules.
Only it's
so
not
instead of
just-
them just shitting out errata, they have you test things first.
Only it's not just a model. It's like one week they were like, hey, here's what we're thinking Steamroller might look like. Try this all out. And that was where the thing we talked about with Widgetgate that we told you about, that was because
Yeah.
the new Steamroller was CID'd, and that rule that Widgetgate was based on was in that CID version of Steamroller.
And so that's the thing is that
And the internet exploded all
Which
over
is
itself.
unfortunate because that's not what they wanted to test.
It's not what they wanted to test at all.
Test the scenarios.
They didn't care about that at all. And people
Yeah.
were like,
spoiler, those suck.
and people were like, "Oh, I hated this. I hated that rule." So the scenarios. I don't know. I didn't really like them. So we played without the scenarios. But like other than that, things seemed fine. And Privateer literally like put a post. They were like, "If your feedback is that you ignored any portion of the rules, kindly go fuck yourself. Like that wasn't quite what they said, but they were
almost what Soul
it's
said.
almost what Soul said.
So
It's kind of like the people that talk about we talked about the recipes online when they'd put out a ham sandwich review and they'd be like, "Oh, this recipe was really good, but I make it without the ham or the bread, and I use
They just changed the recipe.
It's like you just did a salad. No, I replaced the ham with lettuce and the bread with French dressing, and
It was really good.
it was great. I loved it.
10 out of 10.
I like how some people, by the way, review the recipes online. They put 5 stars. And they're like, "This looks delicious. I can't wait to try it." And it's like, why did you review?
Yeah,
this?
why did you review it? You haven't
Okay.
eaten it yet.
But you see the flip side. Like, there's movies that people give 1 star to, and they're like, "Yeah, it's not even out yet, but I saw the trailer. And do we really need this kind of movie?" It's like, fuck you.
yeah.
Yeah, or Tom Cruise is a bad person, so here's a 1-star review.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah, but he's a great action hero.
He runs like a master.
Oh man, the Red Letter
'cause he's
Media
so
people
short.
talked about the Mummy today.
Did
They savaged it.
so
It looks pretty savageable.
So I could go tomorrow. Tomorrow is the only day that I don't have something in the evening for the rest of the week.
but
I think Nathan is
but
working
Tuesdays
tomorrow.
are $5.
Yeah.
Well, no, tomorrow's Monday, and I do stuff Monday evenings.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is you
But
do stuff Mondays. I asked Katie if she
Tuesday's
wants to
$5.
paint train it.
Tuesday, I have to play a board game.
What about Wednesday during the day?
Wednesday during the
I
day.
work.
And
Andy's
work.
going to be sick.
I'm not going to be sick for the Mummy.
You might be sick if you go see the movie.
Yeah.
I have a client meeting from 8 to 10 a.m. And then we have dinner with...
Zappity.
No.
This
We have
is so
you.
great.
Yeah,
You're Wednesday.
You're Wednesday night.
No, I'm Thursday.
then we have dinner with Nick and
Then we
Lori.
have dinner
on
with
Wednesday.
our other friends Wednesday.
No, you're
This is not
Wednesday.
good radio. Zappity, 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 zappity.
Wednesday.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
This
Yeah,
week.
you're Wednesday. this
Recommendations.
We moved it up.
week. We moved
Yeah.
it up.
No, we're still going on.
Oh, my
so
God.
anyway, I was going to say that I would say
Okay.
We should
It's-
touch base
it's on
after
my
this.
calendar.
Yeah.
We'll talk after.
for our area specifically, I think we've experienced a turnover for the amount of people coming down and playing War Machine.
There are a lot of new players still coming in, though.
We
Yeah,
have
that's
a lot
definitely
of
true.
new players, and a lot of the classic players are just not, or just waiting until things settle down, I think.
Well, you mentioned like the other day, Wednesday, the place was full and there was no actual old timers. It was full,
Yeah, full of new players, which is
fun.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it's full, there's players. That's all that matters.
Who's going to stick their models in a Twinkie?
I don't know. I just come down every so often and yell at the D&D people and leave. That's really my role. When they get out of hand, they call me in. I got a particular set of skills.
They've expanded to 3 tables now.
I know.
How dare they?
I can see you, like, they're down at the store on Wednesday, and the D&D people, like, expand one more table, and so somebody calls you from Pegasus. I don't know who you are.
Just suddenly there's a speaker system with the audio coming through.
Man, I would set them on fire if I could. Role play in your basement where God wanted it to be played.
Yeah.
I even like role play, but you don't fucking do it in public.
There are 2 things you don't do in public, and role playing is the other one.
Oh, my God. Like,
I wish we had a live stream that we could just show of them playing, and our faces,
Yeah.
like in the
One of the
foreground, just like,
groups.
what the fuck?
They're so
one time we were there, and for no exaggeration, at least a half an hour, they discussed the market price of various foods in the town that they were in. It's like, who fucking cares? Say that you buy supplies, spend your copper points, and leave the goddamn town. But the guy's like, yeah, well, so it's they have fish, but they haven't discovered using salt curing. So fresh fish is cheap, but you can't use it for the long-term supplies. So you have to do this, and then
Oh
they
my
import
God.
the rice, so the rice is slightly more expensive. Like, who the fuck cares? Kill a dragon.
That sounds like
Just stab a
great
fuck-
role playing.
Yeah, that does sound like it's Katie's role playing group.
Right. That's all they fucking did.
Did they sell any stocks in this town?
Which makes sense because stocks are about as real as dragons. So
Economics and dragons.
Oh,
That'd be
Zappity.
a fun
Come on.
class.
All right.
and why wouldn't they have salt curing? They're a coastal town. They have salt water. The first thing any coastal society does is invent salt curing. That's why
No.
fish is always fucking salt cured.
Why would they need to salt cure it? They just eat it every day. It never goes bad because they eat it right away.
Right? Sure. Like, God forbid you ever prepare for, like, famine or you travel more than a day east.
Yeah, you can't do that. Zappity.
Crumble. Sorry, we're going into a lot more Privateer stuff. What do you think of stopping Privateer from having a top tier board game?
The people who work there.
Yeah, they're designers
designers.
and they're artists.
Especially with losing DC. But I mean,
I think it's that they're late to the party for almost everything that they're trying to make. Like with
they got a couple decent ones.
Invasion
Oh, sure,
was basically it's not exactly the same as XCOM, but it came out right at the same time as XCOM. You have Undercity, and you have all these other games like Ravenloft.
Sure.
You have,
and then you have High
Shadows of
Command, which is
Ravenloft.
just trying to be Dominion.
Yep.
You're right, because their two best games are Infernal Contraption and Zombies Keep Out, neither of which is copying anything else.
correct.
And everything they copy, they do it in a much more bland method because whenever they try to copy another design, they don't do it well.
Their mythology
Do it well.
is-
It's just that's. I mean,
their games are serviceable, but the issue is their mythology is not cool and well known enough to carry them past other games that are similar to the games they have. Like when you 40K, like the Warhammer universe is awesome and well known. That's why there's a million video games set in it. That's why it's fucking Space Marines and orcs and shit. And Privateer Press isn't there. Nobody outside of War Machine gives a shit about Kane and Denny or whoever. And so you can't make a mediocre Ravenloft ripoff and throw on that it takes place in the Five Fingers. Well, nobody gives a shit outside of people who are already your fans.
Right.
That's why Mechs and Minions isn't trying to use the League of Legends lore because
Right.
nobody gives two shits. They
No
just
one cares.
made a game that's good.
Yeah.
it just happens to have lore in it.
Like High Command is
Barely.
a fine
Little.
game if you've never played another game. If you've never played another deck building game, High Command can service you. But if you have any knowledge of how anything else is done, you're like, well, this is
just
boring.
a bad deck building game.
They
yeah.
make passable.
Bad.
It's passable.
It's passable.
The with the expansions, it actually got a lot better. But the first one is
First one was pretty poor.
But they make mediocre games that are in categories that are already saturated, and they
In a universe
expect
that's
their,
not badly well known.
and they expect their universe to carry them through, and it's not well known enough to do so.
Or-
So they need to do the League of Legends thing and make a game that's unique enough to stand on its own 2 feet,
Yeah.
like Zombies Keep Out.
like Zombies Keep Out, or
Infernal
yeah.
Contraption.
Infernal
Well, the
Contraption,
opposite of
whatever.
what was it? What's the company that we were talking about the other day, Brian? That we were like, they rip off everybody else's ideas, but they always do it so goddamn well that I don't care. Was it Flying Frog? There was some game maker that we were commenting on it, that they have a lot of games that it's like, oh, this is just like X, Y, and Z, except I'm never going to play X, Y, or Z again because this is just straight better.
Right.
And like Privateer has the opposite problem. Like their game is just slightly worse than X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
Like
Making a worse Ravenloft
it's not going to get
is
you
not
anywhere.
going to get you anywhere.
No.
Because the board gamers will just stick with Ravenloft,
Yep.
and there's not enough War Machine fans to make you a hit
Right.
from their pocket.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because a significant portion of the War Machine fans don't give a shit about board games.
Yeah.
Because they play
And the ones that
miniatures games.
do already own Ravenloft.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean
So
they're
then
also
you just get
catering-
the Travises of the world,
Yeah.
and that's about all you get.
Yeah.
They're also
exactly.
they're only catering to a very small market group.
Hardcore fanboys, which is a very niche group for them. Yeah.
So
So-
how do they expand their market base?
They do like League of Legends did, which is you make a game that is original enough to stand on its own 2 feet.
And I don't think that's the thing that I don't think the designers
You
are
need-
have the time and capability of
It's
with
possibly
what their other responsibilities.
Then, yeah, I mean, I remember a few years ago when they actually shopped out and told people, please design Bodger games and send them to us, and we will buy these games from you.
Yeah.
Which maybe that's where Heap came from, and Heap is terrible, so that was probably a bad idea.
Heap is 75% awesome.
Heap is...
It's a lot of
no,
fun.
I'm sorry, not Heap. Bodgermania.
Oh yeah.
Bodgermania is garbage on a stick. But they just need an actual... They need to go to like an Eric Lang or somebody like that, and he'll mercenary work. I mean,
Yeah.
he did...
Well, no, he actually took
He did, like, Bloodborne
he
and
is
stuff.
now the lead designer of Cool Mini or Not. They actually just hired him on
Okay.
because
Then you get somebody like an Eric Lang. You mercenary somebody out.
Yeah.
You stop doing shit in house. You go to somebody like an Eric Lang
Yeah.
or a Vlad, and you say, "Make an amazing game." And they go, "Here you go," and you're like, "That game's fucking amazing."
You skin it with
now
your
we
Privateer
skin it with your
IP.
Privateer IP and throw it out there.
And then hopefully it's so good that people are like, "Oh man, this IP is amazing," and then you can make other games in that universe that people
Yeah.
will play.
Because you do that shit. I mean, you look at before Vlad, who's Reiner Knizia. Reiner Knizia is like the game designer of all time, and every one of his games is just numbers and then a theme thrown on top.
Yeah.
But they're so well designed that
you love it anyway.
That you love it anyway. So they just need to get a Reiner, or a Vlad, or an Eric Lang to make an amazing game that you don't need to know shit about
And then
War
just
Machine,
skin it.
and then you just throw Kane on top.
Yeah. Yeah. Like 100%. There's no reason.
Like
you
Mechs
couldn't.
versus Minions, those could be Warjacks.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know, like there's nothing League of Legends about that game.
I'm trying to think of like how
If those are
somebody's gonna be-
Bodgers
how somebody's
riding
gonna be-
Warjacks,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
I mean,
yes,
it's
then
like-
I can understand it. I was thinking about like a Warcaster trying to.
Not a Warcaster.
He's a Warcaster who's having a seizure and he's trying to run jacks.
If those were Bodgers riding along on their Laborjacks, just smacking them with wrenches as shit goes haywire,
Yeah.
that's there.
That could work.
That's 100% there. The League of Legends doesn't fucking matter. They just made a great game. They slapped their theme on top.
Yeah,
done and done.
it's a co-op Robo Rally is all that is.
Yeah. So there's your answer.
Did you have a thought, Brian?
Zappity.
Grumble.
I didn't catch it on Twitter, but I then glanced at the time, and we are running.
Yeah, we're
I
running
got a
pretty
little
long.
Running
anxious
long.
about that one. Sorry.
All right. Any recommendations?
Recommendations.
Genius.
Isn't it The Genius?
The Genius game. That one with all the Koreans in it.
The Korean TV show.
A lot of cute ones too.
Well, okay. Now, I'm not going to be racist, but Asian women are all hot.
No, Nathan, you're mistaken.
I'm wrong.
Asian women are all hot till they turn a certain age. And
They save it up.
Bam!
They don't age, and then they like.
And then they
they-
age in a day,
they
30
are,
years.
They are 15 years old until they hit 60, and then they turn 1,000. But then they're adorable. They shrink to being 4 foot tall and 4 foot wide little babushkas, and it's adorable.
But then I have a question: is like Asian men are not.
Like it depends if you like the feminine. Like in general, Asians tend to be more young looking and feminine, male or female. And so if you want a big burly lumberjack guy, you are less likely to find that in an Asian culture because they're not what they're genetically predisposed to. They tend to be thinner, they tend to be hairless, and so on. But if you want like a pretty elfin kid, that's what you're gonna get. If you think Legolas is hot,
There you go.
there's every
Hey,
Asian man.
There's a lot of just the fact that Korean's so cool. I kind
I
of
like Korea a lot.
I like them.
It's like hipster Japan. Like everybody's all about Japan, but Korea's just flying under the radar.
I mean, they actually have national like gaming. I mean, I recognize.
I do like that about
Very
them.
jealous of that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna recommend doing like not a rally class. What's the thing that Malcolm? Freestyle class.
Freestyle class.
with your dog. If you have a dog, it's really fun, and then they can do cool tricks that you can make your friends watch.
That's true. Katie loves to show off Malcolm's tricks to people when they come over.
That's true. And then they go, "Oh, neat! Stop showing me your dog." It's great.
Did you see the thing online
all
about
true.
the person who had a dog that had been trained to help? Like they were a handicap helper dog. So
Okay.
if you're like a quadriplegic, they would open your fridge and get you food. They turn the lights on and off. So this dog was trained with all of those things, but it just does them whenever it feels like doing them. There's no control. It has all the knowledge, but none of the obedience or control. So it failed as being that. So now the person who adopted it had to like puppy-proof their house because the light switches have like cages on top of them because if they did it, the dog would open every door, open every drawer, randomly turn the lights on and off. It's amazing.
That's fantastic.
We try to teach Malcolm how to open things, but he doesn't like to grab and then pull.
Yeah, he doesn't like
He
that.
will take it in his mouth and then drop it.
Yeah.
And that's as far as we can get him to go.
Yeah. Because I was going to teach him to like bring me a drink from the fridge because that'd be awesome, but no, he wasn't up for it.
Well, the mistake was we taught him how to hold a ducky basket, and then in order to give him his treat to hold the basket, he had to drop it, and so now he just picks it up and drops
He
it.
picks it up and drops it and then looks for his treat.
I dropped it.
I dropped it. Where's my treat? That's
Anywho.
Malcolm. Come back to me, I guess, because I forgot we had to have recommendations. I'm pulling in Andy.
Speaking
Andy?
of Andy,
Speaking of Andy has really no recommendations at all. My recommendation is just to take a weekend and just play WoW.
That's fair.
Isn't that your
what I
every
did.
weekend?
That's what I did all day yesterday. Is I play WoW. I got my Death Knight all the way up to 110. And I got them all equipped up to be raiding already.
Could have been watching The Genius.
I could have been watching The Genius. I could have been watching Fargo. I
Legion.
could have been watching Legion.
You haven't watched Legion
could've
yet,
been-
you son of a bitch.
I could
You know
I
what?
could have finished watching Taboo.
Like in
Ash
2
vs.
weeks,
Evil
in
Dead?
2 weeks we have like a Legion.
We're just
breakthrough.
spoiling
Yeah.
everything.
I don't
Yeah,
have
fuck
your
it.
I don't have your passcode for Ash
I can do
yet.
that.
And
You can watch Ash vs. Evil Dead, and then it'll show up as having been watched on my queue, so Brian will think I watched it.
You know, I just, when you guys say you're fans of things, I can't think of anyone who would like the Evil Dead stuff or Bruce Campbell and then have not watched it. Like, I
I
can't.
watched like the first season.
You watched an episode.
No, I watched like 3-4 episodes of the first season, and then I didn't have access to it anymore.
See, I just would have been like, if I would have watched 3 episodes of an amazing show, I would have spent the $9 and finished it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know.
I get distracted.
Yeah.
I do. I have
It gets
too
to
many
the point
things
where
I'm doing.
people talk about it too much, where I just don't feel like watching it. I guess that's.
Not many people have been
I
talking
mean,
about
I just
that.
grab a new thing like I'm like, oh, I'm going to play Gwent for 6 hours a day now,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
can't. That's what I'm doing now. And unfortunately, if that hits me in the middle of something else, the other thing just gets not finished. Like I was loving Bloodborne, but now I'm just going to be halfway through Bloodborne forever because something else grabbed me.
Yeah.
Sometimes shows get too serious, and then you have to just stop.
That only
I
happens
doubt
to you.
Ash versus the Evil Dead gets too serious.
Also, that only ever happens to Katie. My recommendation, hopefully I didn't recommend this last week. My recommendation is if you haven't ever seen Parks and Rec, it's hilarious. Go watch
Yeah,
it.
from season 2 on.
From season 2 on. Actually, so I never watched season 1. I'd only
You can
watched
watch
season 2
season
on.
1 if you know that it's the worst.
And I
season.
watched season 1 knowing the show, and I was like, even knowing the show, I could have done without that.
Yes.
Like there was, I did.
don't
My
bother
life is not
watching
better
season
because
1.
I watched season 1. It's just not. Just start with season 2.
Brian's turn.
I'm going to recommend Cthulhu Wars, the board game. I played it a couple times with all the expansions. Well, not all the expansions, but
There's a lot of expansions.
There's a lot. I'm going to be playing it every Thursday for a while now. It's just a fun area control. Yeah, well, every other.
Like 2.
We're gonna play this coming Thursday and possibly every other Thursday for a while.
Don't. What?
I'm not sure what's
I'm
happening.
just playing.
Katie's playing. It's just a fun area control, like energy. I forget what the mechanic is called. Where you basically spend like X amount of energy.
The
per
one that's
turn.
in Chaos in the Old World and
Yeah,
Blood.
Chaos in the Old World and Blood Rage have the
Blood
same
Rage,
mechanic
yeah.
where you basically spend, you get like so much power per turn, spend a little bit of time summoning or attacking or maneuvering. It's basically an area control game with Cthulhu, and the models are like, I don't know, very large, 6 to 10 inches in size.
Well, to get-
And it's very fun. It's quick. It's a quick, brutal game.
Yeah, it's surprisingly quick given how big it looks.
Yeah.
And it's normally brutal. Sadly, we played a game with the shades
Our game
where
was
like
not very
nothing.
brutal.
That was the most atypical game of that ever, and I encourage you guys to play it again.
For the first game I should have used the default factions, and because I just got, I was trying to, we combined a weird combination of, because there's 8 factions instead of 4 now, and for people's first games it was a weird combination of stuff. So, but yeah, no, I love the game.
Plus, we had random weird luck.
Yeah.
We had like 10 things attack 8 things, and 0 things died.
things died.
It was
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
it was
just.
fast. The number of dice
much-
rolled and like nothing happening was pretty amazing.
How much Brian roll into a place with 24 dice?
Things died?
He rolled all the kills that Katie didn't.
He might have had more defense dice, but he was reduced down to 1
I
defense die.
reduced my opponent to 1 die.
Ugh.
It was 24 to 1. Like,
It went well for me.
Yeah, that'll happen.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's my recommendation.
Anyway,
Yay!
thanks for
That's
listening.
us. Ha
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna.
Don't go-
I'm not
yeah.
I haven't stopped it yet. I'm going credits. Also, another quick thing. PP is actually talking about releasing a new skirmish style game that looks somewhat interesting.
Yeah,
But
Are you
anyway,
to take a nap?
yeah.
No.
I think everybody's checked out.
I also want to thank our Patreons.
Do we have some
Do we
now?
have
We have some-
Patreons?
We have some Patreons.
Awesome!
Thank you. That's great.
Thank you to those
For them,
people.
what I didn't see.
Well, they're gonna be
I didn't
the
see any
credits.
pledge
A
levels.
quick handy.
They're going to be in the credits. I haven't actually put up any things yet because I'm still trying to decide if we're going to do like a per episode type thing or monthly. Right now it's set to monthly.
Nifty.
Cool.
But anyway.
We'll think of things for them, but they're in the credits.
Yeah.
So watch these credits. These people are better than you.
Yep. Thanks.
And us.
It's
And us, yeah.
It's patreon.com/crippled system.
All right.
If you
Cool.
want to support us.
Singular, crippled system.
I
There's
did
no
say.
S.
Yes.
I know you said it right. I was clarifying. Roll the goddamn credits so they can see the better people.